Week 103 or call 904-619-9274.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
And on ESPN Radio.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The NFL could discipline the Washington franchise based on the findings of an independent review. A Washington Post story described a culture of sexual harassment and verbal abuse. Team owner Daniel Snyder is promising change. Tiger Woods may miss the cut at the Memorial for the first time. Woods is 3 over after shooting a 76 today. So how was his day?
Not very good. 3-putted 2 holes early, and whatever kind of momentum that I was going to create, I stifled that early and fought it the rest of the day.
Ryan Palmer and Tony Finau are tied for the lead right now at 9 under par. Michigan forward Isaiah Livers is withdrawing from the NBA draft. He'll play his senior season in Ann Arbor. The Atlantic 10 will try to play conference games only for fall sports. The America East is postponing fall sports. Also, there will be no conference play in football in the CAA. According to an ESPN study, 8 of the 10 highest-paid college football coaches have not taken pay cuts.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto, every day.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Happy Friday, everybody in Jacksonville and beyond. Good to be back in the studio, so they're going to get acclimated once again and shut off the phone once again. You all right over there? You need like a screwdriver?
No, I'm all right. Hey, are you all right with those headphones over there, man?
Yeah, this is my TV.
Too bad those AirPods can come through now, can they?
I don't think they can.
Nah, that's a shame. That's a shame and a half.
Whatever. We'll make it work.
For sure.
Of course, I forgot. I must have unpacked my bag and forgot my headphones at home after being on the road. See, we're just not used to it.
Yeah.
So back at it here on a Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Tiger Woods not doing well enough. Looks like he might miss the cut. Hopefully they throw some high scores in the afternoon so the cut line moves and we can see Tiger play Saturday and Sunday. He needs the rounds. Eldrick needs some competitive rounds. Been first time in 5 months. We're just talking about expectations. Expectations, obviously, going down a little bit after today's round of golf. He was a bit sloppy. You just heard him on the Sports Center update. Well, we got the cancellations all over outside the Power 5, right? We got the A10 and the CAA, and we got all these, you name your conference, and we've got cancellations of fall sports, cancellation of football, delays of football, delays of fall sports. It's happening. And what does that mean? And by the way, how bad would it look for the Power Fives to play if everybody else is saying no thanks? Is it just a greed play, a money play, if they do try to give it a go? Or do they have more money at their disposal to be able to test and do other things like that? I think would be a reasonable point. But they may do something that's totally different than a lot of other programs and conferences are doing in college football.
And to me, that's the biggest question right now is like we have these smaller conferences, calling off fall sports, gonna hold off on it for right now and kind of take the safe route. And one could assume, obviously, in terms of money, in terms of funding for the COVID-19 testing, for all the preparations, I mean, it's probably in their best benefit to do that. But then we talk about the mighty SEC. We talk about the mighty Big Ten, the ACC. Brent, let's just say that every single conference outside the Power 5 chose not to have fall sports this year, and the Power 5 chose to move on, how would that make the Power 5 look?
That's the thing. And it makes it look immediately greedy and risky. But again, I think you could counter with, do they have the ability to bubble it up better on their campuses, to give it a go? Is it within reason when you could lose 50 to 60 to $70 million to try to give it a go? I mean, where's the cutoff, right? I mean, it was part of the reason we opened up here in Florida and other places, because like, okay, we're losing a lot of business. I mean, we got to kind of make a measured decision here. Is it worth bringing back the restaurants and the bars? And, well, now in hindsight, are those questions being asked again? I think that's what the SEC, I think that's what Power 5 conferences are going to have to answer as well, and we'll see what they come up with. I thought about this yesterday. I think the NFL's happening. I think the NFL's going to happen. I think you saw some reports out.
On time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Now, it's still a little doubt about when you say on time, I think maybe a day or two or different. But rookies and others are Kansas City and other places, Houston, I think it was, said, hey, we expect you here on Monday. Now, we'll see if that shuffles a day or two or three or whatever. But I don't see any drastic delay, is my point. We'll also see about preseason games. But I do think the NFL is going to give it a go. I think they will play. They'll at least try to play. And then we'll see where we're at in September and October and what the impact is. I think high school football, we're going to find out a little bit more on Monday. There's an emergency meeting, they're calling it basically, for the FHSAA. I actually think they might try to give it a go because it looks like schools are going to give it a go. And if schools are going to give it a go, well, then I think the sports will try. I think. I'm a little wishy-washy on that one, but I think. I'm leaning toward a go. And by the way, that could be shrunk. That could be different parameters. It could be you can't travel outside your county, your region, your whatever. I don't think we might not even see state playoffs. It was New York, I think, that just said that they're not doing state playoffs. Those rumors have already been around in the state of Florida. So it could look different, but I think we're going to give it a go. College football, believe it or not, is the one that I thought, you know what, I think has, if you ask me right now, I'd put my FanDuel money on. I would say
your house back out. Are we putting the house back out? No. Okay.
I didn't put my house on COVID-19.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
But I would put my money on a delay
of college football.
If college football.
Okay.
So like I could see us starting the season in October.
Okay.
But trying to get stuff in, and again, it will be altered. It could be this 8-game format, this 9-game, 10-game format. It could be conference only, like so many are saying. I'm just saying, I think they're going to give it a go. I think all three footballs levels will go, and I think the NFL will go pretty much on time. With the regular season, I think it will go on time. I think high school football could get a little delay in there, but I think they're going to give it a go under different parameters. And I think college football will see the delay. That's where I feel like the delay will be, is in college football, getting everybody on the same page.
So I think in terms of high school football, especially in the state of Florida, if you can justify kids going back to school, then how can't you justify fall sports, or how can you justify high school football? Because, I mean, essentially, and I know there's exceptions, with private schools and then obviously homeschooling as well. But for the most part, the kids that go to school are the kids that play football, So if you can justify bringing those kids back to school, then justify them playing football. So I agree with you here, at least in the state of Florida, right? Because let's be honest here, in terms of how each state has handled COVID-19, Florida has been kind of the free spirit, let's just call it. And that's a really nice way to put it. Or else we could just call it Thunderdome. There are no rules here. All right? Do whatever you want to do. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you down the road, hopefully.
It's
that's
either
Florida.
Thunderdome
Two teams enter, one team leaves.
Thunderdome or
to
hippies.
Thunderdome.
I don't know.
Welcome back, Scott, by the way, man. It's good to hear that voice, man.
It's been a long time.
It's been a
Who's
while.
on vacation?
It's
Hello,
been a while.
Scott.
It's been
Howdy,
a while, man.
campers.
Doing good, man. Doing good. But that's my point, though, right? Where I have a hard time not seeing high school football happen around here with everything. Like, if you can go to the bars, if you can go to the restaurants, you can play high school football. So I agree with you there, Brent.
Yeah, I think that I was just thinking I had a long drive home last night.
I bet you did.
Yeah. I was thinking
quiet
of a lot
one,
of
too,
stuff.
after that loss, huh?
It was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Plus, Steph and the kids were in the different car. They got a head start. I didn't go. I went after. That's why I could stop at the National Peanut Festival and take a picture.
But
I was thinking of it. I was like, you know what? If you kind of talking to myself, I said, this is what I think is going to happen in high school football, college, and NFL. And by the way, most importantly, and I understand everybody has allegiances to all, and I know we want to see all three. Again, I will say from an economic engine, selfishly for where we are in Jacksonville, for what we do here on the radio side, on TV side, really, I believe for the normalcy notion of life in the fall, I think the most important one is Sundays. I think the most important one is the NFL. And that's not to say, hey, dismiss college football. I think that's close, by the way, a close second.
Well, especially around here, right? Let's be honest, in the city of Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a close second all across the South, really all across the country, from Columbus, Ohio to wherever. So I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying from the economic engine of it all, I believe the NFL is most important here. And by the way, I don't want to dismiss high school football. I mean, these kids work hard. I mean, some of them will be their senior seasons. Can you imagine missing your senior season of high school football? No. So I think they're going to try like heck on all different levels to get this in from their own selfish point of view, because we want to play and we want to see it happen, but also because we want to get back to normal a little bit. Normalcy is Friday nights in the fall. Normalcy is Saturday nights on college or Saturdays on college campuses. And normalcy is our Sunday football, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football in the NFL, in our fantasy football leagues, right? So I think there's going to be the attempt to get it. I think obviously everybody just has to be smart about it and see where it lands. And to a degree, we're still a little bit early on it. Right, we're still a little early to find out. We don't know Major League Baseball is starting next week until like today.
Yeah.
There was approval from Washington that Major League Baseball can start, I think, next Thursday for opening night. That's 6 days ahead of when they planned. Could we see a similar situation on all three levels of football where it goes all the way up until the 11th hour? I think absolutely.
So let's go ahead and take high school football off the table, because I don't even want to talk about not having a high school football season. All right, I don't want to put those bad vibes out there in the universe. I just hope there's going to be a high school football season, because I mean, I think you were around for the conversation, but me and Kuz had it. Listen, the only reason why I got into a college, because I didn't have the grades, to tell you the truth, was because my high school football season my senior year, okay? Because my junior year, I didn't even start on defense, okay? And my only scholarship offer came my senior year. So it was absolutely crucial that I got to play that season. Now, don't get it wrong. Like, obviously, times have changed now in terms of recruiting, in terms of, sending out highlight films, things like that. But I'm just saying there's some kids out there right now that are really depending on that senior year to go to school. So hopefully the high school football season happens for them. I want to talk about college and the NFL, though, real quick. If you were to pick one right now that you think would be delayed, okay, and one that you could see maybe starting up maybe later in the future, you're going to go with college football over the
Absolutely.
NFL? Okay. Even though students could be on campus and everything, you still think they're going to delay college football until that time?
I think that's where we're headed. I think right now, if you ask me, I think, yes, we will not start until maybe late September, early October.
Okay. And you think the NFL is...
But I think NFL September 10th is opening up and fireworks are going off and there'll be maybe 12,000 people in a stadium, but it'll be on TV.
See, because I've been a pretty big proponent of how I feel about college athletics, right? Where I feel like, listen, if you don't have students on campus, you can't justify having student athletes on campus going to practice. But if students are going to be back, and there's going to be some kind of precautions, to me, if the students are going to be back, then why not have college football? Okay, and it's kind of like the same example I gave with the high school, where if you're going to school every single day with all those students, you can go play football as well. So that's, to me, what the telling truth is going to be, is if students go back to college and they're on campus and they're interacting with each other, then to me, you can justify it in having a college football season as well.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I don't know if there's one that's more at risk of legalities, of litigation, if something goes wrong. I would think college is, based on student athlete and not getting paid to play and all those things. Now, maybe everybody signed a waiver. Who knows? But I would think you can get away with it from a litigation standpoint, also because you have so much money involved in the NFL, they could probably handle any kind of litigation, more so than college. So it's still a scary part of this, if you're running an organization in sports or anything else, the litigation. There's a big reason why I think sports got shut down was because of that in the first place. Yeah. And you have to understand, is that going to be on the way back in? I think that's why we're seeing a lot of colleges basically say, hey, it's gone for the fall. We're not going to deal with that. We don't want, especially all these outside the Power Five. We don't have the dollars to do that, number one. It's not an economic engine like it is in the Power Five. We're not taking that risk. I do like to believe that there's some that are just concerned about the student athlete and not so much the lawyers and the litigation that could take place. But I do think that's a real thing, a real part of it. I mean, if a young person, man or woman, gets coronavirus and passes away, the litigation involved in that for a college, for a conference, for maybe even the NCAA could be enormous and something they don't want to wrestle with. And maybe the NFL, given all the money they make, is willing to take a risk like that more so than college sports.
And also, we have to put ourselves in the student athlete's shoes here in college, where you can't afford to sit out a year. You can't just get on your high horse, on your soapbox and say, you know what? I'm not comfortable playing in this environment right now, so I'm going to sit out. That's not how it works, man. Usually you get 4 years or you sometimes get 5 years, depending on the red shirt of college football, and that's it. So from their perspective, too, from the college player's perspective, it's hard to justify, obviously, sitting out if you don't want to play.
Well, some could sit out. I just don't know if we'll see it. The Trevor Lawrences of the world, the Justin Fields of the world.
I'm talking about the guys that are draft ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, consider the ramifications also. How many conferences, how many schools, how many programs would be affected by a negative impact from the coronavirus or from a player's contracting an illness and having it relate back to that? You look at the NFL, you've got 30 squads. You've got a bunch of folks who are seasoned professionals who do have that capacity to make an informed choice and say, maybe I'm not going to play this week. Maybe I'm not comfortable with this situation. Yeah. And you can take it up with my agent. The student athletes don't have that option, but it's a much, much, much bigger world for them with the repercussions that spread out from that.
It's a great point. The sheer number of teams alone and programs alone in college sports in the variety of sports, right? I mean, we're talking about a lot of these sports entities. They're just concerned about their own franchises. For the NFL, it's their 32 franchises and the players that exist. For the NCAA, they're concerned about 18, 20 different sports times 300 and something universities or whatever participating. It is a bigger deal.
Well, and also keep in mind, too, of NFL players, right, where these contracts aren't guaranteed. And especially in the NFL, where if you chose to sit out a year, Brent, I mean, that could be your death sentence right there. As aggressive as that sounds, listen, teams always go in younger directions. Now, if you're a star quarterback or you're an all-pro or Pro Bowl type player, then, yeah, you're probably always going to have a home in the league. But I'm talking about if you're one of those, backup guys who's thinking like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable playing right now. I'm going to sit out this year. Good luck with that, because that could be your death sentence. You may not ever be asked to come back.
All right, a lot of topics to hit today, including one about Major League Baseball. We'll give you an update. One thing I wanted to do today, where are we on all the sports? Just a quick little update at some point in the show today with the NFL, college, but also the NBA and Major League Baseball on the verge of starting their seasons. So we'll give you a quick little update on that. Coming up next, the NFLPA had a call in the last couple of hours, just got off the call right before our show. What did they say? Anything revealing coming up from the players' side of things? The Players Association, they have concerns. What did they lay out that they would like to see? And I'll give you a little hint. It had 0 preseason games in it. So will that be a thing? Can they win that part of it? And what about the deferred money and how much the domino effect on the dollars could take place, not only in 2020, but 2021 and down the line? A lot going on in the NFL with the NFLPA as well over these next few days to try to get something ironed out that they can agree on and then get to camp and start playing some football. We'll talk about it next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you're having a good Friday. Thanks for hanging with us.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly to partly sunny today. An isolated brief shower, but mostly dry, with highs around 90 degrees, a little bit lower at the beaches. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale this weekend. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
Deep into the summer months in Northeast Florida, hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water, more clean water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, they remove up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Connecticut Premier softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. Schedule your free water test today. Get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits following CDC guidelines, including no contact sales and service appointments, with all employees wearing masks and gloves at all times, and employee temperature checks every morning before they send out their team into your home. Remember, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Chevy says take 15% off a brand new Equinox, but at Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, we think there should be more. So we're adding up to 5% more. That's right, up to 20% off a new Equinox or a discount and 0% for 84 months. Only at Gordon Chevy in Orange Park during the Open Road event. We have lots of great Chevys in stock, including the all-new Trailblazer. Come see us at Gordon Chevy, just voted the #1 car dealer for the second year in a row. Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Carathon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Hey, I'm Jay DeMarcus from Rascal Flats, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
Yes, it is. That was Rascal Flats. I listened to the Highwaymen on the way home last night in the final hour of my drive.
That's like an all-star lineup of guys, right?
Can you name the Highwaymen?
Oh, I'm sure every one of those members has a first and last name that sounds like it's just a first name. So, like Luke Bryan, is he a Highwayman?
No, he's not.
Hang on, let me think about it quick.
You gotta go old school here.
Andrew Thomas.
No.
Thomas Andrew?
No.
I'm trying to think of first names that are both a last name and a first name. I got nothing, man.
Scott, you got the Highwaymen?
Oh, no, isn't it like not Willie Nelson?
Yes.
Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings. I believe there's one more.
There's always a tough one, the last one.
Hank Williams? No.
Abba. No, it's not really my genre, so I'm kind of out of the loop on that.
It's not Hank Williams?
Chris Christopherson.
Oh, I never would have got that. Chris Christopherson? What, is he like the European Highwayman? What's up with that dude?
I think that's what his name is, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's the guy.
Bring a little European flair to the Highwayman.
You know, so
the original A Star Was Born.
Yeah, it's a great, it's awful right now. Like, if I heard it for the first time ever right now, I'd be like, what is this?
Yeah.
But I heard it as a kid a lot. My buddy, my best friend Pat, his brother would play it a lot.
Okay.
And when we were driving, I don't know why at the time. I don't know how he got turned on to it or whatever, but I had never even heard of it. And so I knew every song on that thing. And I listened to it and listened to it. And so once in a while, break it out, baby. Got me through the last hour and 15 minutes of the trip.
I like it. Like Johnny Cash is one of the OGs, man. He's like one of the very first people I ever heard play music because my grandpa used to have an old 8-track player, and he had like all of Johnny Cash's greatest hits and everything. So I remember playing the 8-track player. And for all you young people listening out there, don't worry about it. But Johnny Cash was that dude, man. Isn't there like a women's group now that kind of copy?
There's a Highwaywomen.
There's a Highwaywomen, and then they're like current. musicians, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I've heard a little bit of their stuff. It's okay.
Careful, Brent. Careful now. 2020.
I know. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm messing with you.
I think I heard a song or two of it, but interesting idea.
So is the Highway Women? It's like the all-star version of.
Yeah, and I forget who it's in.
Miranda Lambert?
No, it's not like that though. It's not
Shania
like
Twain?
Like at the time, like those the Highwaymen was almost like the forefathers without Haggard. Like Haggard wasn't in it,
Of
so
course.
I wouldn't say. I guess you couldn't truly say it was like the founding fathers of country music, but there were huge names in country music: Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, especially. I don't think the name power is as strong. It's more a younger group.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't really know everybody. You might know one of them.
So we're talking the heavy hitters like Amanda Shires, Brandy Carlisle, Maureen Morris, and Natalie Hemby.
Yeah, well, Maren Morris is big.
Okay.
Like she's pretty big in country music now.
Okay.
But again, it's not Faith Hill
for sure.
And
I mean,
Shania Twain.
Let's go through it real quick. Who would be the ideal Mount Rushmore of the Highway women?
Gosh, I'll be bad at this. Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Who is it? Pam Tillis or
Pam Tillis with the pull. I like that. Yeah.
Or who is it? Wynette?
Tammy Wynette.
How about the Judge?
Here's the thing. Can we only draft people who are still playing?
I guess you kind of have to, don't you? Did Dolly Parton still doing the dang thing, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go Dolly Parton. I mean, can we put Casey Musgraves on there just for the newer generation? You know, hey, let's go ahead and bridge. Let's bridge this highway.
Know your audience, baby. It's all about marketing.
I'd be all about that. Like if it was Dolly Parton, like Reba McEntire.
Now we're talking Reba.
Maybe like Miranda Lambert.
Yep.
And then if you want Casey Musgraves in there, throw her in.
I
That's
don't
fine.
want Casey Musgraves. I think the world needs Casey Musgraves in that thing. That's a difference, Brent. I think we have something here.
I just talked about this today with someone. Like, yeah, we don't really talk music much on the show. Here we are, 8 minutes into the second segment on the Highwaymen and the Highwaywomen.
Hey, you brought it up, man.
I did.
Yeah,
I know.
you did.
It's a dangerous thing to do.
You better
it's a dangerous
believe it.
thing. Hey, what's the NFLPA saying about this upcoming season? They just got off a call. The fascinating part of this is NFL and the NFLPA prior to this pandemic kind of going crazy reached an agreement on the CBA, which we thought could sprinkle into next year and really be a problem.
Yep.
Well, now they have to kind of renegotiate based off this. And that's what we saw with Major League Baseball. And we saw that kind of very outspoken in the public, and it looked bad for both sides, depending which side you were on. I thought it looked bad for both sides. I think the NFL saw that. I think they're smarter than that, but you're still getting some word out. Okay, the players don't want this. The owners want this. There's negotiations going on, and it's all about the dollar. It's about 35% of the money, 40% of the money, deferred money. How do you may lose $70 million in cap space each team next year. How do you sprinkle that over a few years or just 1 year? Obviously the owners want the players to take a little bit of the fall on this. Just in case. And the players saying, well, we don't want to assume that risk. We're already assuming risk because we're playing during a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I get it. Do you think this will be as noisy as Major League Baseball? I don't feel like it's there yet. Do you think it will get ugly as we approach camp here in the next week or so, really, with rookies reporting as soon as next week?
You're right. It hasn't been noisy yet. And let's be fair here, Brent, in terms of the new CBA that was put in place a couple months back. I think we were both surprised when they agreed so quickly, right? I mean, I think you lost a house because of it.
I did. It was one of my houses.
It was one of your houses. You lost a
one
house
back,
on
though,
this
with
bet.
the Jan extension.
I mean, but was that really a house kind of bet? Hey, whatever, man. You're calling the shots. You do whatever you want to do. It's all good. But no, I think we were both surprised in terms that the players were so quickly to agree with the owners, because usually, especially with we talk about it all the time on this show, the modern era NFL player, they can be stubborn a little bit and they can be stuck on those hills where it's like, we want this, we want this, we want this. And we didn't necessarily see that during the CBA. So it begs the question now, with everything that's going on with COVID-19 and the pandemic, where are players going to stand on this? And I think right now it's been pretty clean, but I think it could get messy pretty quick here for a few reasons. Number one, yesterday I talked about a little bit, Brent, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was very adamant about saying, we don't know a lot of things going on right now. And there's a lot of miscommunications of What's the salaries going to be like? What's the designation of COVID-19 going to be like? How long are we going to be out for? Now, keep in mind, a little bit after that, the NFLPA released a little bit of a protocol sheet that said, here's how we're going to treat COVID-19 if a player has it and things like that. But I'm just saying, if J.J. Watt, Captain America, one of the faces of the NFL, doesn't know what's going on, nobody knows what's going on. Okay, so I think you could have some problems with miscommunications and things going forward. My biggest gripe and my biggest discrepancy, which I think could be a problem going forward as well, is the injury designation of COVID-19, right? Where the NFLPA and the NFL have agreed where if a player comes down with COVID-19, they're going to sit for 3 weeks, and then that team has the option to either add that player back to the roster, assuming he's healthy, or put him on IR. That's going to be a big sticking point to me because keep in mind, you know how IR works, Brent. If you go on the IR, you don't make your full paycheck, right? You only make a fraction of that. And that could rub some players the wrong way, especially considering teams do this all the time in the NFL where they put players on the IR. It's happened in Jacksonville. They're not necessarily hurt, but it's a quote-unquote roster decision for the future. Yeah. And I don't want to see that happen because some player gets COVID-19.
Absolutely. Tom Pelissero, by the way, about an hour ago said NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith says on a media call that union officials had a call last night with team doctors who gave the opinion with a couple of reservations, quote, that it is safe to open training camp. So, I mean, that's from the union side saying that they feel safe to open training camp the way things are set up. That's big in getting to a place of playing football. Meanwhile, Brian McCarthy from the NFL just had this statement released. NFL clubs met today via video conference and received an update on preparations for the 2020 season. We will continue to implement the health and safety protocols developed jointly with the NFLPA and based on the advice of leading medical experts, including review by the CDC. We will address additional issue in a cooperative way. All decisions will be made in an effort to put us in position to play a full regular season and postseason, culminating with the Super Bowl, which is the shared goal of the clubs and players. Does that open the door a little bit for no preseason games? Because that's what players are saying, is they said, hey, let's make sure we have the playoffs. Let's make sure we have a regular season. Let's not mess around with this preseason stuff where games don't count. So that's some of the back and forth going on. The conversation continues. Even a handful of hours ago, Pelissero said this, one idea endorsed by the NFL Competition Committee to help teams cope with positive COVID-19 tests, allow unlimited players to return from injured reserve and non-football injury lists after just 3 games instead of 8. It's been discussed as NFL and NFLPA talks continue. So that's how deep they are diving into some of the minutia that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us, because what do we want to know? Are you playing football or not? Get it settled. Are you playing football or not? I do have a lot of confidence that they'll get this done. I think players are motivated to play. I think obviously owners are motivated to do it in the league because of the dollars involved, if nothing else. But I also think they feel what I've kind of said the last couple of days, that a sense of normalcy is football on Sunday afternoons, and that's their it's not responsibility like you have to do it, but I think they feel a little ownership in that. They know what football is now in the United States, from a sports perspective. And so they could see them doing their role, much like the NBA said. NBA said, hey, we feel like it's our responsibility to provide some entertainment, some distractions, healthy distractions. If we can make it work, it's our responsibility to at least try. I remember Adam Silver saying that. And I would think the NFL, outside of the dollars, which is certainly a motivation, would feel a similar way.
Well, without a doubt. We've talked about it all the time on the show, Brent, where right now the NFL and really college football is the only things we have to look forward to in the future to make it seem like it's a normal living right now, right? If you cancel college football, if the NFL gets postponed, I'm talking chaos then, man. I'm talking your daily routines, your daily lives, no fantasy football. Like I'm freaking out just thinking about it, right? I honestly am. Because what are we going to bet on then? I'm going to be betting on Korean baseball. Lord help me. I don't really know anything about Korean baseball, but I'm going to be dropping $100 here, $100 there just to get my fix in because I can't play fantasy football for $5 a pop with my friends.
Sounds like we have a problem.
Yeah, well, maybe we have to have a little intervention sometime, but it's not going to be
for
today.
Every problem, what you really need is a solution.
So play ball.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, I just want the ESPN690 Fantasy Football League back so I can have bragging rights once again.
True.
That's what I'm looking forward
Get the
to.
belt.
Exactly. I don't want to go to the ESPN690 halfway through the season MLB Fantasy Baseball. I don't want to do that. So I think right now, Brent, it is crucial. And keep in mind, at least with the NBA players, they've gotten some paychecks. Okay, they're sitting comfortably right now. The way
they got paid 75% of their salaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The way the NFL works is you only get paid during the season. So right now you've had a couple guys who probably had some trips in Vegas, who probably spent some money and are looking to be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and re-up my cash a little bit and make sure I'm comfortable. So I think guys have that incentive to want to play just because they haven't seen a paycheck, obviously, since last year.
Absolutely. A little more from the NFL and the NFLPA. This, according to Dan Graziano, J.C. Treader saying, we've had coaches say the protocols are too much to ask. Coaches come forward and saying, everyone's going to get sick, so we might as well all get sick together. Those attitudes can't happen. There are consequences to getting sick. Sounds like they stole a page from the Alabama folks who said, let's be the first to get sick. So
get it early, get it out of the way.
Yeah,
I guess so.
A little bit of that.
Get it out of your system, yeah.
DeMaurice Smith, just more coming in. Wearing a mask will probably be the most significant component of whether sports return in this country. That's not a political statement. That's a common sense and scientific statement, according to the president of the Players Association. And one more for you. I wanted to get the days. Yeah, J.C. Treader, proposed ramp-up period from the union. This is what I think people want to hear. 21 days strength and conditioning, 10 days of non-padded practice, then 14 days of contact acclimation. That timetable grew out of discussion with medical experts, which, by the way, is very much in line with what college football coaches, I'll repeat, said when we asked about this back in April. Like, okay, how much time do you need? If you're not going to have the spring, how much time do you need? Maybe we had the conversation in May, and college coaches were saying, we've been told pretty much anywhere from, we could probably do it in 6 weeks, but we'd like 8 weeks to be able to go. And that's one of the reasons I think college football could still get delayed. They're the ones that said that, 6 to 8 weeks. If they don't go to camp until August 1 without a lot of stuff, this past couple of months and the spring the way it normally was, are they comfortable starting on September 5th? I think the answer to that is going to be no, along with the other complications. But here's that timetable again for the NFL. Treader, the president of the union, said 21 days strength and conditioning, 10 days of non-padded practices, then 14 days of contact acclimation, which would pretty much say they come to camp July 28th as a whole, which means you're not really even going to contact until August 28th. So you're going to get contact for about 2 weeks and then start playing, maybe 2.5 weeks, and then bam, into a game week. And this would eliminate preseason games according to that timetable.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, right? So let's say right now there's no preseason games. Well, there's roster spots to be had from young guys out there. There's roster bubble guys right now. And if you take those preseason games off the table, well, then you have to address this in practice. Like if I'm trying to see what linebacker I want on my team, I got to see you come downhill full speed and try to tackle a running back. That's the only way to figure out if you're going to be on this team or not. So I'm wondering going forward, especially keep in mind, with a very young right now Jacksonville Jaguars team, with a team that has a lot of undrafted rookies, obviously, and a very young draft class, or a very high draft class in terms of 12 players being a part of it. I'm curious to see what Doug Marrone's going to bring to the table in terms of what practice will look like, right? Because we've heard before, you don't want to go back to the old days of Tom Coughlin and run him into the ground. Okay, I understand that. But at the same time, if you take the preseason games off the table, how are you going to figure out who's going to be where? How are you going to figure out who's going to be, your backup safety, your backup linebacker, if they're not hitting people? And if you take the preseason games out of the way. So it's going to be a very interesting, I think, training camp per se for the Jacksonville Jaguars, to say the least.
Well, and it's great because what you just said there, because if you go back to other conversations we've had in the past, I understand there's all a process of football. Take the pandemic side away. If this was last year in training camp and in the spring, and, Doug Marrone admittedly will say, listen, we can't figure things out until they put the pads on. I mean, you can feel good about it. Like, go back and we can pull some sound bites that say that. Yeah. Basically, like, you can say you like your team or you like what they're doing. And I think Doug often will talk about, hey, I like their attitude and their approach to it. But it's hard to sit here and say I like my team without them hitting and playing in a game. So I think what you just said is really interesting. I think if you're being true to yourself, and coaches have been around this thing long enough and people that are in charge around this thing long enough, they're going to know they don't really know what the heck they have until possibly like late August, early September. And then it's like, well, I mean, I don't know how many changes you can make to a roster, to a team at that point. And that's traditionally true anyway. I mean, kind of the hay is in the barn for the most part on that. You had the draft and free agency. But it is interesting where teams might kind of have a feeling, say, after preseason game number 2, how they kind of feel like, okay, I got a little feeling at least. I got a better idea of what I'm seeing on the practice field, translates to a couple of series out there, and I kind of like where we're headed. You might not have any of those feelings really until you kick off on September 10th.
Well, and this is why I'm so adamant, and I'll be honest, I'm a little worried about how it's going to look because, Brent, you can't figure out who your roster is going to be just based off individual drills, okay? And you can't based off who your roster is going to be going 7-on-7. You need to get live game reps. You need to get put under that pressure cooker a little bit, especially if you're a young player, to see if you can hang. Okay, the last thing I want to see is like, all right, well, this kid looks good individual. He's on the team. He's fast. He's got good feet. Great. He's got great feet. How does he handle himself when he has to make the calls? How does he handle himself when it's live and the bullets are flying? And once again, I just don't know if you can replicate that kind of atmosphere in practice. We'll see.
We will find out.
Yeah.
And by the way, the answer to that is I don't think you can.
Sure.
You've been around it long enough.
Yeah.
And again, what I've heard and seen over the years, it doesn't add up that you can and that you're willing to do. Because, again, you're trying to get to the regular season healthy. It's going to be a roll of the dice, which, again, I don't know who that favors. We're about to see it in baseball. Who does it favor? Short season, late start to the season, NBA coming back. We've asked these questions. Who does it favor? Does it take away from the Kansas Cities of the world, the Baltimores of the world that feel good about themselves? Or does it really hurt teams like Jacksonville who have no idea what they're really going to be until they get out there? Logic would say it will really hurt a team like Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, listen, and I've been very adamant about this. I think the teams that are going to do well this season in the NFL are the teams that have the established identity already and the established coaching to go along with that.
Caleus Campbell, in an interview, shed some light on the Jacksonville days and thought there might be more of them. It's next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
This is the biggest news in diamond jewelry, so listen closely. Don't miss out on Beard's Diamonds Summer Super Sale.
This weekend only.
Receive Beard's already unmatched prices plus an additional 20% off.
All designer engagement rings, all eternity bands, all wedding bands, all diamond bracelets, all diamond earrings, and all gemstone jewelry.
Plus, get an unbelievable 20% off over 1,000 GIA certified loose diamonds. But it's this weekend only.
Don't miss out on Beard's Diamonds Summer Super Sale.
20% off your favorite diamond jewelry. You won't get a deal like this anywhere else but at Beard's Diamonds.
It's Jacksonville's biggest diamond sale.
This weekend only.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
See the difference. Save thousands. Thinking of a new ride? Waiting for a sale? Well, if I got great news for you, because this isn't just any sale. No. This is big. It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. During the Big One sales event at Arlington, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. No one does the Big One deal like that. And at Arlington Toyota right now, they're giving you no payments until 2021 on your new Toyota purchase. That's right. You make 0 payments until 2021 on your new Toyota. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. The Big One sale just keeps getting bigger, and it's happening right now in Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person safely at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Big One sale for full details.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call ** 690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's ** 690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day. There's a lot going on in your life these days. You can take care of a lot of it, but if you have some tax issues, let J. David Tax Law help you out. They are the experts, and they will take care of you. Amidst the coronavirus, the IRS and Florida tax agencies are back to work aggressively collecting on outstanding tax debts. The federal government and the state of Florida need tax revenue now more than ever. The stimulus packages and relief programs that helped so many Americans need to be funded. To get the best tax debt settlement possible, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop tax collection action is a no-cost phone consultation that can be done from the safety of your home. J. David Tax Law has systems in place to resolve your tax problems, and you don't have to come into their office if you don't want to. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. Peace of mind, only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Trey Wingo from Golic and Wingo, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane on a Friday. By the way, I want to remind you about 2020 Carathon wrapping up here this weekend, today and into Saturday, presented by Duval Asphalt. You can go to childscancerfund.org. Go to ESPN690.com as well for silent auction items, and you can text the word forever to 41444. Big salute to Rich Jones from 104.5 WOKV and everybody here at Cox Media Group, all the radio stations, and also on TV as well, CBS 47 and Fox 30, for joining hands with Child Cancer Fund and raising a lot of money this week. So we thank you for being a part of it. If you haven't been a part of it yet and you would like to be, please help out at one of those ways to do it. childscancerfund.org, ESPN690.com. or text the word forever to 41444. Every little bit helps in the battle against cancer.
They've also got some cool auction stuff available that you'll see off the website, and that auction runs until 6 o'clock tomorrow.
It goes all the way through 6 o'clock tomorrow, which is great. Yeah, so that's
the
great.
auction's
So you
running
still have
until
time.
6 tomorrow. So last chance to make a contribution, get some cool swag, maybe buy a cool experience, but most importantly, help out the kids.
Absolutely. And there's some really cool stuff on the auction items. So go check it out, ESPN690.com, the fastest way to get there to see the silent auction items. We appreciate it as you head into this weekend. And we try to help kids and families battling cancer here in Northeast Florida. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Scott here in for Coos. Coos on vacation. Good for him. Good for us. We get Scott. It's been a while, man. You been good though? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm feeling good coming in off the bench. I'm tanned. I'm rested. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Does it get any better than tanned and rested, Brent?
No.
That's the story of my life right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of am tanned and rested.
I see you rocking that little maple syrupy brown skin over there. I see you, man.
Listen, I have been on the back of a pickup truck doing the show for a week in 96-degree heat. I looked in the mirror the other day. I was like, man, I've been getting some sun.
Hair's still the same, so you know.
Yeah, we're getting closer to a finality on the hair, I think.
You think so?
It's going to be a treaty.
Are you starting to cave, or is he?
No, we're not caving. We might cave together, though. There might be a
cave to
peace
no one
treaty
caves
signed.
to get. Come
I
on,
thought
man.
you guys were into playoff mode already.
That's what I'm saying, man. A peace treaty. Come on, Brent. This is war, man. Let's go. Ain't no peace treaties around here. There ain't no peace treaties in the sports radio broadcasting niche. Niche.
I've been asked about 5 different times if I would please just relent to have George Washington's hair cut.
Is this from family members? Is this from
I
loved
think
ones?
it's from his family members.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
from other people
It's
watching
starting to affect
TV.
everybody, isn't it?
And Marie Foy, by the way, a lovely lady, viewer on CBS 47 and Fox 30, follower on Twitter, continues to be all over me about my hair.
Dang.
Like, what is wrong with your hair?
Okay.
So
I'm not mad at it. I told you, man.
I mean, I don't mind it. I've been wearing a hat a lot lately, but I'm okay. I might have put a little product in it today to kind of keep it down.
Brett, I've been telling you for like the past month now, just keep letting it grow a little more. You're like the in-between phase. We're talking
How long does the in-between phase last?
I'm just saying, we're talking Bradley Cooper and A Star Is Born about a month or so. I'm going to bring in the guitar. You're going to play it like the first day you ever played it, and you're going to rock it out, and you're going to be singing Tell Me Something Girl, whatever that song is.
All right, man, that's a double whammy on the Star Is Born, because Chris Christopherson was in the original of that.
Well, there we go.
Is that why you said that?
You're like the big rug, man.
Exactly.
You tied the room
And you know
together
what?
here.
And we're coming full circle, Brent. That's what we do on the
What
show
a
on
show.
ESPN 690.
What a show.
Yeah.
Hey, Caleus Campbell, the mayor of Saxonville, I was on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And brought up the idea that, hey, he thought he'd get an extension in Jacksonville before he'd get traded. That's how much he was surprised.
So here's the quote from Caleus Campbell on Pat McAfee's show. He goes, and I quote, "I was expecting to be in Jacksonville throughout my contract and maybe even longer. I expected an extension to come before a trade did." So there you go.
And I sat down with Calais in January in the stadium after the season. We knew that there could be some business going on, right? I mean, he was due to make, I think, $15 million. And given their situation, at the time we didn't know what was going on with A.J. Boye. We didn't know exactly what was going on with Yannick Ngakoue. We didn't know they were about to go through this rebuild a bit because Nick Foles was still on the roster as well. But we knew that they had to shave some dollars one way or another. And so we had those conversations in January. You can still go see that on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690, our YouTube channel. And it was a very enjoyable interview with Calais, as it always is. But it was pretty enlightening on the business side. And he also said, hey, man, I'm still worth this money. And so what I thought would come up is a potential rework of his deal, which then could lead to a contract extension. And I think he even thought that too. Yeah, could they maybe say, let's rework and let's do this, but we'll add some years on. That's how sometimes those conversations take place. Well, instead, and those conversations may have taken place, but instead it ended up with him going to Baltimore, which, again, I think works out in the long run for Calais, given where the Jags are right now, given where Baltimore is right now.
It's great for him.
And they reworked his deal once he got there, too. But I do think, first of all, I think he's a guy, I always say this, he's biased for me. We'll miss him around here. I think going through what they're going through right now, going through COVID-19, Black Lives Matter movement, having Calais around, which, by the way, he's still kind of in the community. He's still here. He just had a baby.
Yeah.
And he's been in the area for the most part through the COVID-19. He could have been so valuable this year, just from a locker room standpoint. And we still got game left, but I think the question was how much game is left at his age and how much are we willing to pay for it? Those questions always come into play with veteran players.
Well, and here's what hurts. Obviously, Caleus Campbell, if anybody wanted to get out of Dodge and go someplace else, it could have been Caleus Campbell, right? Because he's
Absolutely.
on the back nine of his career. Obviously, he's not in his prime anymore. He'll be the first one to tell you that. And the guy has put in his time. He's put in his effort. He deserves to hoist a Super Bowl trophy. So with that being said, I'm happy for him. But on the other side, he still wanted to be here, he said. He expected to be here. And we talk about it all the time, Brent, the transition from changing of the old guard to the new guard. Caleus Campbell is that bridge, okay? Caleus Campbell could teach the new generation coming up in that Jaguars locker room how to handle yourself and how to be a Jaguar. And unfortunately, he's not here anymore to do that. And now you're going to rely on guys like Josh Allen and maybe Yannick Ngakoue. We'll see if he's even going to be here to do that for him instead.
I want a little more conversation on Caleus Campbell. Have that coming up, plus so much more here on a Friday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Jump in on the conversation, star 690 or 904-362-9901.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Carathon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
It happens to all of us. That AC unit just starts making some noise, or even worse, it's not working anymore. This is the time of year you don't want that to happen. It's way too hot around here. My friends at Bold City Heating and Air will help. They helped us. It started with a call from my wife, and she said the AC wasn't working. So we jumped on boldcityac.com, and before we knew it, they were at the door. Super friendly customer service, clean, timely, and personal service call. And now we're loyal to Bold City Heating and Air. They took care of my family. They'll take care of your family. It's a big investment in AC unit, but a necessary one. Mirrors at Bold City Heating and Air has built a strong culture, and as a customer, you can feel it. We felt it. The easiest way to start the relationship with an AC company you can trust is to go to boldcityac.com. Have Bold City Heating and Air check out your AC. Right now, it's $25 off and annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently. Good peace of mind at the very least. Visit boldcityac.com. Be bold and beat the heat at boldcityac.com.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. I don't know about you, but I just want to get in the car and drive somewhere. Windows down, radio playing, exploring some two-lane back roads. It's like a mini vacation. So I say, get in your new Chevy and go. Huh? You don't have a new Chevy? Well, we can fix that, like a new Equinox. Right now, the factory says take 15% off, but we can do up to 5 better. That's right, up to 20% off, or choose a discount and 0% for up to 84 months. Only at Gordon Chevy in Orange Park or GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
For streaming, creating, gaming, and more, power your passions for less during Dell's exceptional cyber savings event. Enjoy up to $400 off stunning laptops like the XPS, along with high-performance desktops and next-level Alienware systems, redefining what's possible with 10th Gen Intel Core processors. Shop special prices on top brand electronics and accessories, plus enjoy free shipping on everything. Don't forget to ask for Intel when you call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best networks, same as the big carriers, for up to 50% less. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Trey Wingo from Golic and Wingo, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Washington team owner Daniel Snyder says he's committed to change after a scathing Washington Post report detailing sexual harassment and verbal abuse at the NFL team's offices. ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
There is really no place in the league like that organization when it comes to the class system that exists. There's Dan Snyder and his inner circle, and there's everybody else.
Jeff Darlington on Get Up. Today in the Canadian Football League, the Edmonton Eskimos announced that they plan to change the team's nickname. Bengals wideout A.J. Green signs his one-year franchise tag contract. He'll make $18.2 million. From baseball, Rays outfielder Austin Meadows goes on the injured list after testing positive for COVID-19. Yankees second baseman DJ LeMahieu rejoins the team today after missing almost 2 weeks with the virus. Bucks guard Eric Bledsoe still hasn't reported to the NBA bubble in Orlando after testing positive. Bledsoe says he's asymptomatic and looks forward to joining his teammates soon.
Don't have time to wax your car? 303 Touchless Sealant is a quick and easier solution. Simply spray on and rinse off. It's that easy. Get ultimate protection and shine in minutes that lasts up to 6 months. Now available at O'Reilly, AutoZone, and Advance Auto Parts. Visit 303radio.com for more info.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
4 o'clock hour on a Friday, and now I'm on East Coast time, which is a little bit easier for me to understand. I'm telling you, man, I get thrown off by the time change.
Yeah.
Like, I'm smarter than that. I really am. But it throws me off a lot of times because of the shows and, like, the newscasts.
Yeah.
So when we go out to California or Colorado or whatever, and we're a couple hours behind, I'm like, oh, shoot. It's like 4 o'clock. It's time to go on TV.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it really throws me off. Like, I don't mind it from a sleep standpoint. It doesn't make me tired.
You suggest.
It really doesn't bother me that much. Even London hasn't bothered me too much, and the West Coast hasn't, but just messes with my head.
Yeah. See, I'm good with 1 hour, but we talk 2 hours then. If we start going on the West Coast in those 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, then it's just like, hey, man, you know, like now my body can't adapt. Immune system shutting down, and I have to make do with what I got.
Do you think you never felt right going to those other time zones?
So the only time that I didn't feel right playing in a time zone was my, I think, rookie year it would have been with Jack Del Rio at the helm. He had it in his head that we weren't going to, because usually teams will travel, they'll travel on Friday, right? They're going to get there a day earlier than they're expected to get, just so you can get acclimated to the time difference. We traveled like Saturday afternoon to San Diego and then was supposed to, play on Sunday.
Yeah. That's tough.
I'm going to bed and the sun's out. What do you want me to do with that right now, Coach Del Rio? So that was the only time where I just felt like a little groggy, and obviously we played like it because we got curb stomped, to say the least. So I think, Coach Del Rio learned from there, and I think a lot of teams start to take notice where it's probably smarter to go at least on Friday, get acclimated a little bit, make sure you guys getting some sleep.
I always like those West Coast trips when you go on Friday, but even I think Coughlin early in 2017 didn't go on Friday. I think it was a Saturday trip, but then last year they did. I kind of almost showed you that Marone was having a little bit more control over what they decided. Yeah. And I think they did go on Friday. In fact, I know they went on Friday last year to the Oakland Coliseum. But I think that's hard. I do think it's hard to be at your best and feel your best. And by the way, I think it's hard traveling to Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. I think when you fly, there's a part, again, this isn't trying to be whiny here. I'm just saying if I'm an athlete, I want to be feeling my best, tip-top shape. There's a reason why there's home field advantage. It's not just the crowd. Mm-hmm. It's your own surroundings. It's what you feel comfortable. It's routine. You guys are creatures of habit. And this goes for baseball, basketball, NHL, NFL, whatever. I do think, man, when you hop on a plane, just if you're going on a trip, you kind of get fatigued a little bit. You just don't feel – you might feel okay, but you don't feel like your normal self. Can you go run 5 miles after you get up? Nah, I can't normally. I don't feel that great. And so to be an athlete, especially in the sport of football – I think that would be challenging, no matter where you're flying to.
Well, and I'll tell you what was fun, though. One of probably my most favorite memories came from, I believe it was 2012, so my last year in Jacksonville. We had like an extended West Coast trip. Like, I don't know if we played Oakland. I think actually what happened was we played at Green Bay, and then I think we went from Green Bay right to Oakland or something, whatever it was. But like we didn't go back to Jacksonville. We spent some time in California, and we stayed outside like San Francisco a little bit. Well, dude, Tyson Alualu is like the king of California, knows all the legit spots to go eat at. So like he had me eating like this. It was like a Spam and rice kind of sushi thing. Sounds disgusting, maybe to some people out there if you don't like Spam. Delicious.
Spam and sushi.
Yeah, it was like a Spam sushi thing. I mean, I think it's like a Hawaiian dish that they're known for. And I forgot what I'll have to text him sometime, see what the restaurant was called. But it was like this mom and pop little restaurant. I'm like, dude, where are you taking me right now?
He knew the hot spot.
Yeah, but I'm like, we have a game in like 3 days. Is this gonna like put me back a couple days when I'm about to eat? And he said, trust me. I'm like, okay. He didn't say a lot of words, but he said, trust me. I'm like, okay. And yeah, man, this Spam and rice and it was wrapped in seaweed kind of sushi. I'll tell you right now, man. Doesn't sound appetizing. Delicious.
I was a new sushi eater.
Yeah.
Around the time we went to California for the week trip.
Okay.
And I had it out there, and it was better.
Yeah. Well,
and it was good.
That's the thing, though.
It was different.
You do yourself a disservice, though, because you go out to the West Coast where they, no offense to Jacksonville, but they do it right on the West Coast, right? And then you come back here, it's like, yeah. It's okay. But it's not Cali.
But it was different. You could notice it was different.
Yeah,
By the way, Weber just texted me, said, I sound soft for I can't fly to Cincinnati and go for a 5-mile run. I might be. I'm just saying that as an athlete. Listen, I'm not. This is more of a respect thing for players. I think it's hard to get on a plane, especially if you're a 300-pound guy. Mm-hmm. Get off the plane, go whatever, eat, go sleep, get up and play at your top best. And then you add time changes into that, whether you're going to London or whether you're going to Colorado, and maybe you're adding altitude into that. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to California 3 hours. I think that stuff adds up. I do. I don't think it's, again, I'm not saying it's an excuse, but the Jags have been awful on the West Coast. Like, that wasn't just your year. They can try everything. You could go out there for a month and live there, and I think the Jags would still get crushed on the West Coast 9 out of 10 times. That's the way it's been in their history.
Yeah.
I do think it's a difficult acclimation process. You know what makes it all better?
What's that?
If you're better. Like,
correct.
If you have a good team.
Yeah.
If you have a good team and you're better than the other team, you don't have to be 100%.
For sure.
But the Jags have kind of climbed that uphill battle all the time from a roster standpoint.
Yep.
So you've got to play well at your premium. Mm-hmm. Yet when you're on the road, I don't know if you feel that way.
Well, and listen, too, and that kind of brings the London game back into it a little bit. And I've told this story before. I was asked to go on the Sirius NFL station one time in my career, and probably one and only time in my career, because they asked me, what are your thoughts about the Houston-Jacksonville game coming up in London? And I said, guarantee, Gardner Minshew going to go off, going to beat the Houston Texans because Houston's never played in London before. Jacksonville's acquainted with it. Expect a big day for Gardner Minshew and the Jacksonville Jaguars as they wrap it up against the Houston Texans. Well, let's just say the game happened. We remember how it went down. And needless to say, my DMs have been absolutely dry in terms of serious NFL XM asked me to go back on their show again. I was a one and done because I thought that there would be a big advantage playing in London. But once again, to make your point, if you're the better team, you're the better team. And obviously the Houston Texans were a better team.
Absolutely. I want to finish up our conversation on Calais Campbell. Before the break, you had brought up a quote he said on Pat McAfee's show about, hey, he thought he'd get an extension before he'd be traded. Are you still surprised at the end of the day? Are you surprised that he's not in Jacksonville? Are you surprised they made that move? Did they get enough? As now everything took shape. You know, in the middle of it all, Nick Foles was being traded away. A.J. Boye being traded away. The draft wasn't underway yet. The Jaguars have since reset their roster. No doubt the philosophy changed from like December, early January to March and April and where they started to rebuild and reload this thing in hopes of trying to get it right. Yeah, I think this year, but really, in my opinion, next year when they have a clean cap space and also more draft picks. So they're trying to reset this thing, reload it quicker than they tried the first time around. But are you surprised that Calais Campbell isn't a part of it?
Well, I'll never forget where I was when it went down. I was on a plane back home to Wisconsin, and literally like the news came up right when I'm getting on the plane. I think you were doing the show by yourself at the time, and I think I called you after I got back to Wisconsin, whatever it was. But I remember having the update come on my phone and the news that Calais Campbell got traded, and of course it said Calais Campbell traded to the Baltimore Ravens for a 5th-round pick. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, the Jaguars are tanking. And now you know how I feel about the phrase tanking. I think it's a loser's mentality. But when they got rid of him for that price, I'm like, what's going on? You know, and I got text messages from friends like, dude, what are the Jaguars doing? Just because, listen, and we've broken it down before on the wall that says it all. Calais Campbell didn't have his best year last year. Okay, I think he would be the first one to tell you that. Still a Pro Bowler. Pro Football Focus said he was the best defensive tackle, in the run game. So be it. I think my eyes tell me a little differently. But my point is, regardless of how he played during those games, Brent, it's not only what you get on the field, but off the field as well, and in that locker room. And I think the fact that the Baltimore Ravens understood that, listen, we're maybe one piece away on our defense going away from going to the Super Bowl. We need a guy that can come in here and stop Derrick Henry maybe again in the AFC division game or championship game. Well, Calais Campbell can be that type of guy. And to me, if Baltimore was willing to give him a 5th-round pick, you would have to think out there that there were other teams maybe not as glorified right now as the Baltimore Ravens who probably offered a little more. And I think that Dave Caldwell or Shad Khan did Calais Campbell, they did him a solid by trading him to Baltimore, a team that can obviously win a Super Bowl, as opposed to maybe trading him to, I don't know, pick your poison, like a Cincinnati Bengals team or something like that. So they did him a favor there. I am surprised, though. I still sit here today on a Friday, July 17th, and I am still surprised that Calais Campbell is not on your Jacksonville Jaguars. I get the money standpoint, okay? And I get how much of the salary cap that he was taking up. But how many times have we talked about this week, whether it's, whether it's Chris Jones, whether it's Myles Garrett, who it seems like the Cleveland Browns have paid everybody at this point, there's always money to move around, and there's always money to take care of your players. I just think at the point of his career and where the Jacksonville Jaguars were at, of being the youngest team in the NFL, I felt like you should have kept Calais Campbell at least one more year, because you know what? I don't care how much money it costs to keep him on the team. His production on the field and in that locker room would have been worth it.
Yeah, it's hard to debate that it would have been worth it for the team. Would they be better with Calais Campbell around and on the football field? I think absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't know how anybody else would say no, they wouldn't. And quite frankly, I don't know what they're going to get for the 5th-round pick. But this was the time to do it, 5th-round pick. Plus, you got to remember, you're clearing salary cap space. That gives you flexibility as well. How much worse they are is only going to be determined by probably how Calais plays this year in Baltimore and how they use him and how the Jags would have used him. I think their snap count would have gone down with Calais. They bring in Rodney Gunter, who, again, is not Calais Campbell. Absolutely not.
But he's going to have to be.
He is. But how the question we will have to answer will be, how much of a void does he fill? How good is he? And again, he's not going to be Caleus Campbell. Don't go into those expectations. But they did sign him to like a 3-year, I think, $18 million deal. They have expectations for him now. That's not just, hey, let's sign this guy for $2 million and see what happens. That's pretty decent investment in Gunter from Arizona, trying to duplicate what they did with Caleus Campbell. But nobody would say, hey, he's going to be on pace to be the Caleus kind of player. But how much of the void does he fill? How much does Taven Bryan take a step? Guys like that, what they have done, then I think we'll get a better idea. I mean, was it a bad move? Was it a good move? I mean, do those guys close the gap? Does Caleus continue to play at this extraordinary level? And then wherever that line is, you add in the fact, well, now you have cleared space. You've gotten younger. That does set you up better for the future. So this will be a question that we follow, like we ask at the end of October, halfway through the season. Where are we on that situation? At the end of the year, how did they do on this Caleus deal? Because so many people didn't want to see it happen. And it's a tough guy to let go. I mean, I would have loved to see Caleus stay here for the remainder of his career, whether he was playing at the lights-out level he's played for 3 years or not.
Well, and you have to ask the question, too, is what does it do to the development of our young defensive line, okay? Because we have Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen ready to take the role of leadership, on the defensive line? Because guess what, Brent? He might have to. With all due respect to Al Woods and Rodney Gunter, you want to have that bona fide, legit player to be that leader on that team. And Josh Allen may have to do that because, once again, we're not sure what Yannick Ngakoue is right now, okay? We're not really sure the type of mentality he's going to bring to the team if he even comes back anytime soon. So, you have to have a guy like Josh Allen now to be the leader. The thing I loved about Caleus Campbell so much was, yes, he was a great person off the field. Everybody loved him, and he was a great leader in that locker room, but he had the talent to back it up. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily think he's like the most vocal guy, always getting under, telling people what to do and things like that. No, but his skill set and, his stats obviously backed up his captain status, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think going forward, Josh Allen has to be that guy. You just got to wonder, though, is it a little too soon for Josh Allen to be that guy?
You mentioned Josh Allen. I still think Avery Jones could be a big player in that as well. I think he's along that line. I think he'll be a well-respected. He's the most tenured Jag. And I do think guys like Al Woods and Gunter are going to have some of a role in that. I mean, they're going to have to play that role to some degree. And you do have some experience on the line. It's not like they're all young guys. I mean, they are younger, but they're not all young guys. I mean, Taven Bryan now is going into year 3. He lived in the same apartment complex, I believe, as Caleus. Yeah. I mean, he got a chance to see Caleus at work for a couple of years. That had to be enough. Can he now take off? Now, listen, we've seen examples where it wasn't enough. You almost need we needed Puz to stay maybe for a year or two more for those guys at the linebacker spot. It didn't work out. So your point's a valid one. How much of an impact? He certainly would have made an impact. And that's the criticism that you could give this front office for getting rid of a guy like that, especially if it backfires, because that means they didn't learn their lesson. Because the most vital mistake they made when they tried to build this thing in the first place, 13 and 14 especially, is they got rid of some of those guys, that presence. They got rid of the Darryl Smiths of the world. Yep. And that hurt them. That set them back. That was a miscalculation on their part. Did they miscalculate again, letting Caleus Campbell go? I mean, time will tell, the old cliche.
Let me ask you this question. In terms of that bridge guy, kind of like that leader that you can kind of pass the reins on in another year, and all of a sudden you can cut him at the end of the year or trade him, whatever it is going to be, but he's going to be the guy that's going to bring the young guys along, and when they leave, you're comfortable with the young guys and what that leader has done. In terms of that bridge guy, if you had the option to keep one of them, would you have rather kept Caleus Campbell or A.J. Boye with how things shook out in the draft now?
It's a good question. It's a good question, and people are like, you're out of your mind, Brent. You'd absolutely want to say Caleus Campbell.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I'm going with it.
The youth at the secondary position is much more eye-popping than it is at the D-line position. Now, who I think is underrated in all of this is DJ Hayden. So I don't want to put too much on the guy, but I think he is underrated in that sense. I don't think we think of DJ Hayden as the way we thought of maybe the veteran leadership of a Boye or a veteran leader like a Caleus Campbell or going back to Puz. I'm not saying he's those guys, but I don't think we give him enough credit for having all this experience and for maybe being able to grab those guys and teach those guys and show them the ropes a little bit. So I think he's a valuable part of that, and I don't want to dismiss him. Again, if you're asking me which guy, pick one, I think over the entire locker room and organization, and even in this city, Caleus Campbell make a bigger difference than A.J. Boye.
Sure.
But I think your question's fair. I'd still probably take Caleus Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in the same boat as well, but you just think of, listen, you bring a first-round pick with C.J. Henderson, okay? And, like, obviously that's going to be your guy going forward. You just got to wonder what would you have right now if you had C.J. Henderson and A.J. Boye, you know, and obviously you working Trey Herndon in there as well, who a lot of people like, and I think we both, have saw some good things out of him as well. I just think that Boye could have maybe even been a bigger bridge for the youth and development of that secondary, just because, like we just talked about, you have guys like Avery Jones, you have guys like Gunter coming in, you have guys like Al Woods who are a little more experienced, who can kind of offer their knowledge, and plus you have a guy like Josh Allen who I think is ready for that leadership role, especially considering he's not built like a rookie last year, right? I mean, he's mature beyond his years, he's a family man, so truth be told, I'm not necessarily worried about Josh Allen taking that next step forward. However, I could be worried about a little more in that secondary of how they respond, obviously being a young secondary, and obviously going through a COVID-19 pandemic right now where they haven't had a lot of time to work together.
Yeah, it's a great call.
Yeah.
I like the question, and again, I think it's unfortunate. I hate answering questions like this. I think we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's see the growing pains that secondary goes through. Let's see any advances or play that happened on the defensive line. I will say this. I think it'll be harder to make up for the play of Caleus than it is Boye.
Mm-hmm.
Boye, a lot of people, again, I'm not in this boat. A lot of people say he had a very disappointing year. I don't think he did. I don't think it was as disappointing as people want to mark it as, but I still think player-wise, Caleus, the last 3 years, has been pretty remarkable on a lot of levels. Even when he's not playing his best, like as he admitted, like missed tackles and stuff, he was still super productive.
Well, and guess what? It was a disappointing defense last year at every spot, okay? So it wasn't just, I mean, if you want to say A.J. Boye, so be it, but I agree with you. I don't think he was as disappointing as people make him out to be.
All right, got an off-topic question a little bit. This is the question going through a lot of people's minds if you have kids.
Okay.
All right. And today, I know
parent experts, Brent Martineau and Austin Lane, coming to the table.
TED Talk time.
Yeah.
I think we, down in St. Johns County, I know there's a deadline, I think, today to determine what you want to do with schooling. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to figure out, hey, do you want to go back to, now, things could change from here on out. Who knows? Right now, school's scheduled to start, I think, August 10th. But I give you these three options, and there are actually more options. You could do, like, homeschooling and stuff like that. But I'm going to give you these three options. If you were a kid.
Oh, if I was a kid, okay.
Yeah, you're in the kid spot.
Well, I thought I'm a parent because guess what?
Because all the
my
parents
son's going
see it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said to our kindergarten teachers.
Yes.
Yep, well, our son's coming every single day. Get ready, have fun.
So if you were a high school kid,
high school kid.
Scott, jump in here. Listen, do you go to school as normal?
Mm-hmm.
With the idea that, by the way, who knows what's going on, right? They could easily pull that back.
So time out real quick. Are we a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? Because this makes a difference. Not even lying. What grade of high school are we?
Well, in my house, they're freshmen.
Okay, so we're going to be freshmen. Okay.
So, but you can name whatever kid you want to name. I don't.
Well, there's a difference.
I mean, there are all bunches. This is a question for the entire viewing audience, all million people.
Scott, you can agree with me. There's a difference here, man.
Absolutely.
If you're a senior, there's a difference in a freshman.
You got something to prove. You're
That's
going
what
out as
I'm
a senior. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody.
Thank you very much, Scott. We're on the same page, but go on with your question, Brent.
So you go to school, but obviously there's a lot of uncertainty with going to school. I mean, by September, could they say, hey, everybody's back home? Or what happens if kids we really don't know. I mean, there's a lot of those questions still being asked. Okay. And by the way, this is not me jumping. I'm just going with what would you do? This is not the soapbox or the debate of what we should do with our schools.
Okay.
Two is you can follow along at home, kind of this home learning, and you basically just sign into the class. But you got to sit there now in front of the computer, like 9:15 to 10 o'clock, you're in math. 10 o'clock, 10:05 to whatever, you're in English. Mm-hmm. But you're doing it basically because you don't want to risk COVID-19 and be involved with all the people in school and all that stuff. The third option, Florida virtual school, which if you do Florida virtual school and you take, say, your class load, there is, at least according to my wife, there's this option that you can then go back to school in January. You do Florida virtual school for the first semester, keep pace, and then you can go in January and go to school normally once we see where all this is at.
Okay.
So those are your three options. Again, there is another option with like homeschooling. Mm-hmm. You could do homeschooling and a flexible virtual. There's a bunch of different things, but those are your three primary things.
Okay, so let's go over them one more time.
School.
Yep.
basically school at home where you're on the computer and you're seeing the teacher and everybody in class, but they're doing it virtually.
Yeah.
But you got to be there now. This isn't like, hey, I can sleep until 11 and then catch up.
This is my choice. I'm going to be where I want to be. Okay. Hey, I'm the high school kid right now.
They're taking attendance.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm the high school kid right now, so whatever. This is my choice.
And then the last one's virtual school, where, again, given the option of in January, then I'll go in.
Yeah.
But you got your 6 classes now. You got to take care of your business and keep the pace with the virtual school. What are you going to do? You're a freshman.
Man, I'm a freshman. See, if I'm a freshman, I'm going. Okay, I'm going and I'm going to establish a foundation. I'm going to establish a base. And I'm going to say, hey, my name's Austin Lane. I'm here for 4 years. All right, get used to me. I don't want any of the hazing, anything like that. I'm just saying, listen, I'm here. I'm getting acclimated. So I'm going to school if I'm a freshman. Because I mean, it's an experience, man. Like going from middle school to high school, it's an experience.
True.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page for that. If you're coming in as a freshman, you've got the whole opportunity in front of you to develop all those relationships, but you've got to define who are you in regards to everybody else you're going to be working with. And the best way to do that is by working with people. Kids today, are they concerned about the coronavirus? Probably not. They're preoccupied by other things. So I don't see them being as caught up in that as parents are. So were I a kid in that situation, I'd go to school. Mostly because when January rolls around and all those kids that took the virtual route and they decide to come back halfway through the year and tell me what's up, oh, no, son, it doesn't fly like that.
Exactly. You're either in or you're out. You can't have it both ways. So if you're taking the virtual till January, sorry, but you missed the boat and you're behind, and now you're getting made fun of.
But I've also got to consider you've got all the programs going on with regards to any kind of extracurriculars.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make the team, now's the time to do it. If you're going to go and introduce yourself to the hot cheerleader, now's the time to do it. You got to get in front of these programs.
Have you ever been to high school before, Brett?
Yeah, I have.
Do you know how high school works?
The problem is, how do you tell if the cheerleader's hot because she's got a mask on?
It's a good point.
Well, because there are other factors to consider.
Hey, Brett, there's Facebook now. It's okay. Okay, there's TikTok now. You can tell. Don't worry about it. All right? There's ways around that. You're acting like you've never been to high school before. It's the crazy
Social media
thing,
introduces a whole new paradigm to all of that.
Here's my thought. Like, I love how this changed for you guys, whether it was a freshman or not. Like, who remembers what you did in your freshman year?
Hell yeah, it changed, because if I'm coming in there as a senior, I'm going to come in there and do the absolute minimum that's required to get my ass out the door.
I don't know how they did it in Rhode Island. I don't know if you're mixing seniors with freshmen, but where I came from in Wisconsin, you had your freshman quick, you had your sophomore quick, you had your junior quick, and you had your senior quick. If you were a freshman, man, you had to establish dominance, okay? you had to come in there day one ready to roll, or else they're going to roll all over you. I'm not even lying, dude. And if you're a senior, hey, those last 2 months of your senior year, I'm not. All the kids listening out here, cover your ears real quick. Earmuffs.
This is not where we're supposed to go with this.
Do whatever you want. It's all good, man. You
just did that the last 3 months of the school year.
But I'm saying the whole freshman mentality to the senior mentality, it is night and day, Brent. Night and day.
As a freshman, you've got to do everything. You've got all of the things you got to pass, all the goals you got to achieve are in front of you. Yeah. As a senior, you've got a very short list of the things you have to accomplish and the crap you have to take before you're out that door.
And I trust me, and I had to make, because I was a dude, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, but dude, our freshman girls, I felt bad for them because there was rules in place. It was like, you ever see Mean Girls?
Yes.
It's like a documentary, basically, Mean Girls. Because there was a rule where if you're a freshman girl, and you know how it works on Friday nights when if you play football, you can wear, a guy's jersey, and that was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're a freshman girl, you couldn't wear an upperclassman's jersey. Because one time, a freshman girl wore a junior guy's jersey, and it was like World War III. Like, you want to talk about just sides being taken, fighting in the halls, arguing. Dude, it almost tore our whole school apart because a freshman wore a junior guy's jersey.
I don't know if our show is helping parents make a good decision right now.
Hey, I'm sure the times have changed.
Hey, but here's the thing. Right now, with all the virus concerns and everything, it's the chess club's time to shine.
Hey, by the way, let's enlighten us with all this dude talk and establishing your dominance as your freshman. Yeah. How many people were in your school?
I had 250.
In your school?
In my school. I had 54 kids. Well, I had 51 kids because 3 of them got arrested, couldn't walk during graduation day. So I had 54 kids in my graduating class.
So it might be a little bit different at 2,500 enrollment.
it's a microcosm of what bigger schools are. We had earthquakes and everything. Just because we were small didn't mean we didn't pack a punch. We had everything going for us.
We have 500 and something in my graduating class, which means we probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,500 freshmen coming in because people moved and you whittled them down and a lot of people dropped out. And yeah, it's maybe not the greatest endorsement for Jackson, but there it is.
By the way,
has a segment ever backfired so much for you in your entire life?
I'm sorry, my apologies. Where's our apology letter? You just said 1,500 might have entered and only 500 left. What is this, the Hunger Games?
Well, survival of the fittest. And
well, can we just be honest for a second? You wanted to raise the question because you wanted to know what to do with your own kids. I did. And now you're getting these answers and you don't know what's going on
first of all,
anymore.
I'm not making the decision. I left it up to the kids to make the decision.
Sure.
But here's another note on this.
Yeah.
Is I never was a freshman in high school. We only had 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Huh.
So I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
That was my first year of high school.
Rhode Island, man.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
We're one of the few that did. I think they're now do freshman class. I wanted to say that middle school is 6, 7, and 8, but our middle school was 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
And then high school was 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So, there's just so much belief, I think, a teacher, I'm always a teacher, so talking amongst other people, that it could go in for 2 weeks of school and then be back in front of that computer option.
Sure.
Doing it that way. And so I think my kids might be leaning toward the sit out the first semester and jump in the second semester.
And you've got so many different kind of academic programs now with magnet schools and charter schools and all kinds of different programs and special interest. You've got a couple of vocational programs and stuff, which is where we lost a lot of the kids from Jackson. They went out and got job skills and
they're
the
co-ops and all that
things
stuff
in their lives, and I'm pressing play a lot.
Well, listen, and obviously you have the advantage too because Steph's a teacher herself, right? And she was a teacher and she's a tutor.
Yeah, I don't think the teachers know that much more about this situation.
Yeah, but I'm saying at least
sees it from that point of view. Yeah,
from that point of view, exactly. But I'm just saying, man. I mean, if they go half and half, that's fine. But that first day, your freshman year, Ty we'll see with Kaylee, but Ty, hit me up, dude. I'll get you in the gym a little bit, some MMA drilling a little bit, just in case some kind of senior starts to step up to you a little bit, dude. It's like Shawshank Redemption, man. Day one. You got to establish something, okay?
Well, listen, my thought with Ty is he might be over the century mark by the time he gets there in January.
That's the goal, right? That's the
goal. Knees and elbows, son. Knees and elbows.
That's the goal.
Right. Did he pitch well enough this summer to avoid anything? Or hit well this summer? All right. Anyway, good luck with your school choices. There's a lot going on with school.
I'm glad we could help everybody out.
I don't think that was a TED Talk that you want to listen to again.
By the way, as a complete disclaimer, I have no children, so I have no parental experience. So disqualify everything I threw out there.
Don't worry, I think they did that on all.
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old, but now how are you feeling about me being a parent? I don't know. It is what it is.
At least you have a few more years of training.
A few more years of training. Gonna give him that gym for sure.
Faith in Cody.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
When we come back, Tiger Woods, how did he do today? A little thought on Major League Baseball as well. Where are we in the world of sports? John Bachman's going to join us to help out another cause this weekend, and all you have to do is go play golf. I mean, what's better than that? Sign me up. It's next on ESPN690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny today, an isolated brief shower. Highs in the mid to upper 80s at the beaches to the lower 90s inland, dropping into the low 70s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. As little as $10 can make the difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. All money donated goes straight to the Child Cancer Fund of Northeast Florida. To find out more about the Child Cancer Fund or to donate, go to childcancerfund.org. You can text FOREVER to 41444 or visit the online auction. Just go to ESPN690.com and click on the link. Thanks for your donations during the Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale this weekend. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233. You don't want just any old sale. You want the biggest sale with the biggest savings ever, right? Then you need to see my friends at Arlington Toyota today, because they're having the one big-time sales event. Want low payments and zero down? Then get to Arlington now, because during the big-time sale, they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars you can buy at zero down and $199 a month. That's no money down and $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. How about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can buy at zero down and just $269 a month? That's no money down and $269 a month with over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everybody approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. What are you waiting for? It's the one big-time sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big-time-sale for full details.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here, man. But I have PTSD. Should I at least try to get medical marijuana?
That's legal, but if I were you, I'd talk to my doctor about qualifying conditions and to find out if medical marijuana is even right for you.
Thanks. I'll talk to my doctor.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Deep into the summer months in Northeast Florida, hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water, more clean water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, they remove up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. Kinetico Premier softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. Schedule your free water test today. Get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits following CDC guidelines, including no contact sales and service appointments, with all employees wearing masks and gloves at all times, and employee temperature checks every morning before they send out their team into your home. Remember, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks and ESPN690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jack.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back. Some information coming out from the NFL about travel and how they're going to handle that this upcoming season. So all these details are coming out with the NFLPA and the NFL making some new rules, if you will, and discussions ongoing with rookies scheduled to report, some players scheduled to report next week, and training camp a little bit over a week away. The NFL's going off. They're going to try this thing.
Yeah,
that's crystal clear to me. They are trying this thing, and September 10th will be opening day. I think the only thing, well, not the only thing, but the big question is preseason games or not. That'll be probably the biggest one for fans. Outside of that, it's rock and roll time almost for the NFL, which I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of feel good about it. So give us a sense of normalcy, and we'll have some storylines around the Jacksonville Jaguars plenty to talk about. Will we be able to witness it? I don't think you'll be able to witness it as fans, at least through the training camp and the preseason. But we'll keep you posted on all those new details that are coming out. We have some of the travel things in just a moment. Before we do that, we welcome in, for the first time in a long
Missed
time.
this guy,
Used
Brent.
to sit right over there.
Yeah.
Now isn't allowed on this side of the building, quite frankly.
Sure isn't. It's a shame.
His name is John Bachman from Action News Jacks. He's got to be on at 5 o'clock. Just got off at 4 o'clock, I assume. Unless you have the day off, because I saw you on the golf course. What's up, Johnny Bachman?
Hi, fellas. No, I'm working. I was working at 4 o'clock, and I'll be working again at 5.
All right, listen, I'm not giving you a hard time. I haven't worked in like a month, so.
Yeah, I have seen those posts from all those baseball and softball tournaments. You've been having a good run there, pal.
Yeah, it's a good run. Now
Research. The word was research.
Yeah, research.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Research. That's what he told the bosses, huh?
Of course. Back at it. I don't think I told the bosses anything, which is even better.
Well, because Brent, I think you are a boss. You're fine.
No, that helps. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with John Bachman. How was old TPC Sawgrass Stadium course today?
Well, it was great. Actually, they just redid a bunch of stuff there, and I wasn't expecting it to be in as good a shape as it was in. It was fantastic, and what a day. And I had a great time. I played with Len Matisse and a Korn Ferry Tour guy by the name of Philip Knowles. And this kid could play. He shot a 66 today. We played from the Blue Tees. He shot a 66 today, and he put one in the water on 17 and made 5.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
And he shot 60. What did you say, 60?
Yeah, 6 under.
Oh,
6 under.
66.
There was a stretch where he didn't make anything but threes, and we played a par 5 in that stretch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you're working with the First Tee of North Florida and Len Matisse and for something called #PlayDay, which is essentially started today, goes all weekend long. And basically, here's how you get involved. You go play golf. That sounds like fun. Tell us a little bit more about
it. Isn't it? Yeah. So, as you know, COVID-19 has messed up everybody's plans. So charities are having a scramble. You guys have been doing a great job with the Child Cancer Fund. Rich Jones at WOKV heads that up. They've raised a whole bunch of money. So shout out to those guys, and I love the crew over there at the Child Cancer Fund. But everybody is facing this. The budgets are being cut because fundraising events are not happening, or at least they're not happening as successfully as they would in person. And so at the First Tee, the show goes on. And so what we decided was, hey, let's pick a weekend where everybody, might be playing some golf. And when you show up at the pro shop, they'll say, hey, you want to donate $10 to the First Tee of North Florida? You donate the $10 or more if you want. But for every $10 you donate, you get yourself entered into a chance to win a round of golf at the stadium course with a buddy and with Len. And Len has offered to bring me along again. And basically that's just to make you guys feel good about yourselves, because Len will shoot probably 66 to 68 out there. I fired a nice, smooth 92 today. And
nice
so,
even number.
A nice, smooth 92. And so, anyway, you'll feel good about yourself, and you'll get to play with an incredible player like Len, he's just a great dude. And it's for a wonderful cause. So, you're going out, maybe you just have one less or two fewer beers, and have $10 to go to a great cause and get a chance for an experience of a lifetime.
That's awesome.
You buried the lead. You shot 92 today. You want to play tomorrow for $100?
Wow.
Live gambling on ESPN690. Awesome.
For the first tee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, so I did do that. I pledged $10 for every par because I figured I wouldn't make any birdies. I pledged $10 for every par, and I still managed to donate $70, which I thought was pretty good because,
nice.
7 pars and shooting 92 is kind of hard to do. That means there are a lot of crooked numbers in my game.
Some would say impossible, John.
Yeah, I put some crooked numbers up there. But so tomorrow I'm playing with another group of buddies out at St. John's Golf and Country Club, and I'm doing the same thing. $10 for a par, $20 for birdies, and I'm hoping to raise even more money tomorrow because really 70 is kind of embarrassing. I really thought I could get to $100 at Sawgrass today, but it didn't happen.
I think John Bachman with us, Action News, Jax, CBS 47 and Fox 30, and First Tee in North Florida on our minds. You can help raise funds for them by playing golf this weekend. Simple as that. I think I saw you put out there, Slammer and Squire, King of the Bear, World Golf Village. You tweeted something in regards to them. Is it just participating courses? Or
No. You can do that. Well, so what we've arranged is we've worked with these courses, Hyde Parks and other, and pretty much I think there are 30 to 40 courses in Northeast Florida that are participating, meaning they will have something set up where they can take your money and you can write down your email address and all that stuff to be qualified into the donation and for the drawing. But you can go to firsttnorthflorida.org and you click on the hashtag play day at the top of that page. That'll take you to that page, and then you click on the donate button, and that'll get you registered as well. So if you're playing, even if you're not playing golf and you want to donate, that's what you can do. Go to firsttnorthflorida.org and click on the donate button off the play day, and you'll be able to get registered, and the money goes to a great cause. It's underway, and it's actually we're doing pretty well. I've heard some pretty good numbers from different courses, so it should be a fun weekend. And the best thing is the reason I put hashtag play day in there, guys, is because I kind of want some pictures and post a score, talk some smack. That's the whole idea, is that we make this sort of, ideally this would be like a golf outing, but it's not a golf outing. So we're trying to make this kind of a virtual golf outing, right?
I love it.
So, post some pictures with the hashtag Playday on there, and that way we can all kind of see what everybody's doing. That's the idea behind it.
I love it.
And then, of course, a great cause. So.
Yeah, absolutely. First Tee in North Florida, John Bachman and Len Matisse helping lead the charge on this. I'm going to play over at Eagle Harbor tomorrow, so whether they're participating or not, I'll do it.
I'm sure they are, but yes, definitely.
What are you doing? Pars and birdies, how much?
I'm doing $10 for pars, $20 for birdies. You in on that?
Yeah, and $50 for an eagle.
I like it.
$50 for an eagle for sure.
Yeah, cover all your bases.
I think anybody else wants in on that. I'd love a challenge, and I'll post my score tomorrow morning. And then if I could, I'm a busy man. I want to plug one more thing if I can.
Yeah, do so. You got the big one coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, so both these charities are near and dear to my heart, but Make-A-Wish of Central and North Florida, again, the major fundraising events have been hurt by all this. So tomorrow we're having our virtual Walk for Wishes. Usually every year we raise hundreds of thousands of dollars in a big walk. It's usually down by Metro Park, and it's really neat. Well, this year we're doing virtual, so if everybody will go out, take some video of them walking tomorrow morning, there's going to be a Facebook Live event where you'll get this, be a part of this fundraising thing. Allie, one of our great Make-A-Wish kids, will be singing for us the national anthem. Anyway, it's going to be great. I'm going to take my family out for a walk, and we're going to donate as we walk as well. So that'll be a fantastic event as well. It's a virtual Walk for Wishes tomorrow for Make-A-Wish. I'm trying to think of something else I can plug. I don't know what else, but
that's
those are
good.
The two big things for me.
Yeah, now Walk for Wishes coming up virtually, so you can all participate. And so many of us have been walking so much during this pandemic, my family included, Steph and I. So we'll do the same. Do you know how the best way to make the donation on Make-A-Wish? Is there a website to hit?
Yeah, there is a website for that too, and that's just Make-A-Wish Central North Florida, and they've got a Facebook page, and I've shared a bunch of stuff on my pages as well. So if you want to go to my Facebook page, John Bachman Action News Jax, my Twitter page, Bachman AN Jax. I forget what my Instagram page is, but I'm on Instagram. It's there. You can't miss it. You'll be able to find a link to it. And it'd be great to get you to donate there. And I know that on our air we have been asking people to donate to so many things, and everybody's struggling. So I get it, but it's for the kids.
Absolutely, John Bachman, CBS 47, Fox 30. Got to go on TV in just a little bit. You'll see me there tonight as well. CBS 47 and Fox 30. Let's end with this: whose hair looks better, mine or George Washington?
I am so happy you brought this up. I love that you guys are doing this. And I also love that I'm not part of it. I would say right now, Guido's got you beat, man. The man is when he lets that thing. I like it better without the product. Now, Danny's been putting some product in there, and I don't think I like it as much as when it's product free.
Yeah, we call him George Washington on this show, by the way.
You do. Yeah. I like that.
GW.
George Washington, GW. That's a good name for him, and he likes to think of himself as Clooney. I think that's a little I think that's shooting a little high for him, don't you?
Yeah, he's closer to GW.
Well, and Brent, and speaking of product too, man, you got product in today. Dude,
I do.
Don't worry about the product, okay? Take the top off of that GMC truck. Go on Jack's Beach and let the breeze just curl it the way it's supposed to be. So the way God intended it, okay? Stop trying to pull it down with this gel talk. It's ridiculous.
Austin, I agree. I want to see it in all its glory, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
serious. You need to totally do that, Brent.
You're doing yourself
a
disservice right now.
Do it. You're kind of halving it right now. I mean, don't put anything in it. To just let it flow, baby.
Yeah.
Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Hey. Let Bachman go.
Remix.
Country music, back to school, and now hairstyling tips.
Love it, man.
You get it all on ESPN690.
Welcome to sports radio in a pandemic.
You better believe it.
John Bachman, thanks for stopping by, man. We'll be a part of Make-A-Wish and First Tee in North Florida this weekend.
Hashtag play day. Send me your pictures. Send me your scores. Send me your smack talk. And you and I got a bet, buddy. $10 for pars. $20 for birdies, and let's raise a lot of money for a lot of good organizations.
Love it.
Thanks,
you. John.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Best
Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
Yes.
It's John Bachman, CBS 47, Fox 30. You can catch him and Tanika Hughes on and Mike Borish as well at 5 o'clock, and we'll be on there on the sports side coming up a little bit later on after the show on CBS 47 and Fox 30. But once again, if you're going to play golf this weekend, keep in mind First Tee in North Florida and check in at the pro shop and see if a donation would be great. Or you can join our challenge. We're going to do that because I'm playing tomorrow. I think Ty's going to play too. And John said he's going to do it $10 for par, $20 for birdie, $50 if you make eagle. That's the donation to the First Tee in North Florida. And also, if you got your walking shoes on and you're not playing golf, or even if you're playing golf and you're walking, Make-A-Wish Central North Florida, you can donate as well. Walk for Wishes virtually. And John is right about that. So many charities, and we're seeing it this week with Carathon 2020 and Rich Jones and Child Cancer Fund. A lot of different options out there, of course, to help out. And they're upwards of close to $185,000 this week, I think. And that's in a pandemic, man. That's pretty good. Nice job, Jacksonville. But it is a challenge for a lot of these charities. And keep in mind, one of the big ramifications locally of losing the Players' Championship there this year was the charitable aspect. $9 million raised, I think it was, last year for the Players' Championship and all they do to help out. And they're going to continue to help in years going forward, and also probably with their time more than money this year based on not having the tournament. But that's a lot of dollars that will not be handed out to some of these charities. I know for the Action Sports Shack Stream 18, we thought about not doing the golf tournament. We got some of our great loyal sponsors back on board, and we're going to do it in middle September.
It's great to hear.
But I think a lot of folks are wrestling with that idea of doing it or not. It's a tough time to put your hand out and ask for money, but also these great charities need our help too. So if you can do it, even in the smallest of ways, pick one or two of them and be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's always a good, it's always a good thing to give back, and especially now, I get it. Times are tough for everybody, but regardless, if you can spend, your time, your effort, or even just a little money, it's going to go a long ways, especially with what's going on right now with COVID-19.
My wife just sent me this picture.
Uh-oh.
And she said, "Are you confused?"
Whoa.
I don't know if I did this. I must have been the one that I had to. I think I was the last one out of the house today. So she shows me I had for lunch.
Okay.
Just like an English muffin.
Yeah.
With peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
That's what I ate for lunch. A little light lunch today.
Okay.
Come back when I don't have a lot in the house.
No, that's legit. I'm not mad at that.
She sends me a picture of the peanut butter in the refrigerator.
Ooh, Brent. Hey, who's the MMA fighter here? Who's the former football player here, though, right? What's up, man? You all right?
So I put the peanut butter in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Here's the thing. Did you have jelly, too?
I didn't.
Well, then there's no excuse, is there?
Well, I'm just working on my own Uncrustables.
You're an entrepreneur.
Oh, man. Is there anything better than frozen peanut butter? Oh,
it's like
man.
in front of a Powerade, which I don't even drink, but it must have been the kids.
Sure.
And next to Cool Whip.
Hey, man. Casual Fridays, Brett. Casual Fridays.
I can't
Brunch of champions.
Yeah.
I honestly can't even blame that on anybody.
Oh, no.
Like, I gotta own that one.
Take it.
I put the peanut butter in the fridge.
Take the L, man. It happens to the best of us, Brent.
Dang it. Major League Baseball, Tiger Woods update, some more football talk, including the travel plans for NFL teams. We'll bring it up next. Action Sports Shacks, ESPN 690. It's been a wild one. Hang with us on a Friday on ESPN 690.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Carathon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and school just isn't for you, earn while you learn by enrolling in the Clara White Mission Workforce Training, designed for 16 to 24-year-olds and no experience necessary. National certifications include culinary arts, OSHA, HAZWOPER, forklifting, environmental training, and more. These programs are customized for low income and disadvantaged. Make your way to the Clara White Mission Training Center at 613 West Ashley Street. Call 904-354-4162 or visit clarawhitemission.org.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer. All summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
This is the biggest news in diamond jewelry, so listen closely. Don't miss out on Beard's Diamonds Summer Super Sale.
This weekend only.
Receive Beard's already unmatched prices plus an additional 20% off.
All designer engagement rings. All wedding bands.
Plus, get an unbelievable 20% off over 1,000 GIA certified loose diamonds. But it's this weekend only.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best networks, same as the big carriers, for up to 50% less. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. Before we can move forward, we have to get ready to start moving again. Movement is how we express ourselves. No matter if it's on the hardwood, the track, or the highway, movement drives our potential, and it helps us build momentum for tomorrow. Movement takes us further than we ever thought possible. It's what separates us in competition, and it's what unites us when we need it most. So when you're ready to start moving forward again, we'll make sure you're ready for every mile. Goodyear, more driven.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Washington NFL owner Dan Snyder says his employees' behavior described in a Washington Post story, quote, has no place in our franchise or society, end quote. Snyder says he's committed to improving the team's culture. Will the team be punished? ESPN's Adam Schefter.
It's the NFL's job. It will do what it feels is necessary based off the investigation that Beth Wilkinson launches and what she uncovers. The fact of the matter is, from a basic human decency standpoint, let's get this right.
Adam Schefter on First Take. 15 women who worked for the team say they were sexually harassed or verbally abused. Tennessee defensive lineman Emmett Gooden is kicked off the team after being charged with felony aggravated domestic assault. He's the second Volunteers player dismissed from the team this summer, along with running back Tim Jordan. The Nationals and Yankees are now cleared to play the first game of the new baseball season next Thursday in D.C. The game is on ESPN TV and radio at 7 Eastern. Free agent outfielder Yasiel Puig tests positive for COVID-19.
It ain't game day, but you can still feast like it is. Meet Church's new $5 Campfire Smokehouse Chicken, our fan favorite with a new campfire flavor, plus mashed potatoes and a biscuit. Church's, bringing that down-home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, 1 hour left in our Friday here on ESPN 690. Hopefully you're on your way home, heading into a weekend or already home. And you can listen and watch the show, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I see other radio stations around the country are catching on to that Twitch thing.
You better believe it. Hey, welcome to the party. We've been waiting on you.
Absolutely. Pioneers.
Now they can take their number and sit down and watch the old dogs work.
Exactly. Watch how it's done.
But you can always watch and listen on all the social media platforms. You can listen on ESPN690.com from home and, of course, in your car on ESPN690. 10 different platforms in all. Okay, a lot more news coming out on the NFL. Dan Graziano all over it in the last half hour. How about this? Some of the NFL's travel rules for the year. No use of public or private transportation to or in other cities. That read right? Yes. No use of public or private transportation in other cities, basically. They can't even drive there. So basically, is that Lyft and Uber? And
yeah, so obviously when players have free time during the away games, obviously you get there Saturday, usually Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. The coaches give you some time to go out and kind of do your own thing. Obviously, that's probably going to be only if it's in walking distance now. You can't take Uber.
And a lot of the places are in walking distance, but still guys will jump in and go to a steakhouse or somewhere like that all together, and that doesn't look like that's going to happen. Oh, wait a minute. We read down further. No leaving hotel to go to restaurants open to public?
Ooh.
Now, that is seriously, that's a lifestyle change for an NFL player. Saturday night, here's what happens. Team leaves, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually land in the city they're playing in, 4 o'clock to the hotel, 5, 6 o'clock, or somewhere in that vicinity, depending on the amount of travel. And then, like you just said, there's a team meeting, I think, often later at night, like maybe around 9, 9:30, kind of before bed. But in between that time, it's usually, hey, let's go grab a dinner here or there. That's part of the routine. Now it's, hey, you're sequestered basically to your hotel.
See, this isn't good because keep in mind, too, though, I mean, the way it's set up is teams always have a team dinner that you can eat in the hotel. That's your option, or you get like a stipend or a per diem where you can go out and then eat, like as a position. And that's the biggest thing, Brent. And as crazy as it sounds, that's a team bonding thing right there. Like usually defensive linemen go out to eat together, linebackers go out to eat together. And I know you're saying, do they really need team bonding? Well, keep in mind, yes, you're at this stadium, 6 days a week, practicing and everything like that. But then you go home to your families. You don't really spend a lot of time with your teammates outside of the locker room, outside of the practice field, in everyday life. And this is kind of like your chance to get away from football a little bit, go to a nice restaurant and do some team bonding. So the fact that that's taken away from players now, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it will be a big deal. It says that's open to the public. I wonder if teams will try to coordinate with restaurants and say, hey, we're coming in. Can we get a team meal type of thing, even though you're not open to the public, almost like a catering for the players? If they could work with restaurants like that, that's what I'd be at least asking and say, hey, Ruth's Chris or whatever.
And you'd think maybe the hotels would make an arrangement around that with a conference room or something like that. So, again, if you don't have to get off property, you still got a resource with a big space where everybody can still get together and get some camaraderie before the gameplay.
Well, and that's the thing, too, right? They have catering there. The hotel offers a dinner option that you can go to, but usually players like to go out a little bit, see the city, and just get away from that hotel life a little bit. Obviously, now that's under jeopardy.
No use of shared hotel facilities, pool, gym, etc. That's reasonable.
Yeah, no one ever really does that anyway.
They don't usually do it anyway. Yeah, it's usually maybe you see a coach in the gym or something like that. Sure. That won't happen. Other 2020 NFL team travel guidelines, according to Dan Graziano from ESPN, masks required while traveling. Sure. Buses at no more than 50% capacity. Now, that's a thing, because usually, I know the Jags travel party, they'll have 6 buses, but so they're just probably going to have to order 8 buses.
For sure.
To make sure the 50% capacity. Now, on top of that, there are usually more members of the travel party, and that will be limited. Mm-hmm. So maybe 6 buses will be enough for the players, especially we're talking in the regular season when there's 53 players on the roster. At least one open seat between passengers on the plane. And again, I don't think that will be as much of an issue this year because of the limited travel party. The travel party for the Jags, let's just say they have in excess of 50 people. This year, their in excess might be 10.
Correct.
I don't know that. I'm just throwing out a scenario for you, but that's the way it's going to be. It's
has
not
to be.
We travel with the team on the TV side. I don't think we're traveling with the team. I've not been told directly that yet, but I'd be shocked if we are. And therefore, are we even going on the road with the team this year from a media standpoint? That will give you an idea some of the sponsors, some of the other folks that normally might travel with the team, not happening. And so, the one issue teams have had anyway in recent years are planes. Getting the bigger size planes because they don't really make them the way they used to. And so this will alleviate some of that for some teams as well. I don't know if the Jags are going with their normal company that they have been the last couple of years, which is a pretty big plane. It's really used for international travel. So a lot of new guidelines put out by the NFL when it comes to travel. Some more guidelines for return to play following a positive test. Let's see if this makes some sense. First time I'm reading it. Players who have tested positive, recovered, or who have tested positive for antibodies will undergo additional cardiac screening. Following a mild symptomatic infection, complete a minimum 3-day progressive exercise protocol under team medical staff supervision with appropriate clinical monitoring. Those are a lot of words, which basically relies on the staff, which is something you've brought up in the past, to kind of clear them. Yeah. Is that a good enough checks and balance? You've said.
You know how I feel
following a moderate to severe infection. Now, that one was for the mild infection. Moderate to severe infection, complete a progressive exercise protocol for a recommended 7 days or equal to twice the duration of the hospitalization. So they're basically saying if a player has to be hospitalized for COVID-19, you have to at least come out of there and have 7 days of getting back.
Yeah.
Think about it as like concussion protocol. Totally different, but think about it like that. You have 7 days to get back, or just if you stay in the hospital for 3 days, you can do it in 6 to get back. So I guess there's some sense in that, and we'll see how it goes. And by the way, I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised if by week 6, some of this stuff changed.
Yeah.
And
listen, and I'm going to be very adamant here, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to drive this point home. If you're going to rely on team doctors to determine, the health and the safety of, the COVID-19 patients, I just think you're going to ask for problems, okay? We talk about the importance of concussions now in the NFL and then the study of that, and obviously having a third party testing concussions where it's like, listen, you can be a team doctor. You can say the guy's ready to play, but if that third team party guy doesn't clear him, then he's out of the game, right? Because they're trying to save the player from themselves. I just feel like right now, if we have COVID-19, and I understand, I know what the numbers are and everything like that, I know what the percentages are, but if we're going to rely on team doctors that, obviously are very close to the team to determine whether a guy can play or not, I think you're going to have some situations down the line when the games get super important where teams might be bending the rules a little bit to try to get the most, players out there as possible.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see, that part of it, or, will we see that part of it? We might just not know. It might just be assumed that it could be happening. One other thing I think is interesting from Graziano here, he just said this in the last 10 minutes. Released today by the NFL, protocols released today by the NFL and NFLPA say players must wear Connexon proximity recording devices. Now, this is interesting. Hang tight on this with me. While they're in the facility, at practice, or traveling with the team. And what these devices do, they'll be used to monitor in-game close contacts for contact tracing in case someone tests positive. This is fascinating science here and technology.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So what they're saying is if you're say you're a tight end, right? And you went in motion in a play and you went to block and you blocked the defensive end, help chip on that guy, whatever. And then later in the game, you caught a pass and you were tackled by the safety. Well, that tracing is going to basically say, hey, you came in close contact with that defensive end, that safety, this player. And so that player will then, and by the way, in this case, what I'm giving you, they test positive, that tight end does.
Then it's going to be a trickle-down effect where you can see.
Hey, call the Houston Texans and tell them that he was in close contact with that defensive end. And at least that's the way I read it.
Dang. This is like some upgraded laser tag kind of stuff here. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a video game in that sense. But now you already know, for years and years, the Jags, from a analytical point of view, they've had this chip in their shoulder pads.
Yep. Yeah,
and you walk out of the locker room and it triggers, right? Is that when it started? It started that long ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been around that long. But what it does, that thing does, is it reads all sorts of things, like your heart rate, I think. It reads how fast you might have gone into practice. It whatever other thing. What else is read?
There's something. It's like the force. So if you deliver a hit, it says it's like the pounds per square inch, whatever. It's way past my pay grade. But it tells you like how hard you hit somebody in case there's concussion symptoms. You can see how hard you hit somebody, stuff like that.
And so the idea of that is not only to monitor, hey, this guy did this in practice. He's really performing. It's almost like it's a little bit of a, hey, you can't cheat the system here. You better go hard in practice, or it's going to tell us that you're not going hard in practice.
Exactly.
There's a little bit of that going on.
Well, and the most messed up part about it is you can't even feel like you're wearing it. You could have the excuse like, well, because we used to wear like these heart rate monitors right across our chests, and they wanted you to wear it. Well, some players would be like, dude, I can't breathe with this thing on. I'm not going to wear this thing.
Take it off.
All right, cool. Check this out. And all of a sudden, Microsoft or whatever releases like this little chip that goes in your shoulder pads. Don't even know it's there, man.
Yeah.
So
you
there's
don't
no
even
excuses.
Know when it's on.
Don't even know. Yeah, no excuses anymore.
And so, but I think the main idea of that is kind of what you said, a little bit concussion, but it's a little less likely in practice. I think it's more for recovery. It's like to give the trainer, say, hey, he did this. He exerted this kind of energy. Here's a good recovery plan. Get him this kind of shake. He needs to drink 84 ounces of water. He needs all those kind of things, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's that for recovery. It's obviously used as a tool, too, for coaches where it's like, all right, how hard are we pushing our guys right now?
True.
Do we take off the reins a little bit?
Good
Do
point.
we push them a little harder? So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of data there that gets used by a lot of people.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what, to me, this reminds me of.
Sure.
Instead, this is just a close contact thing. I mean, could we see a day, like if there's no like quick end to this and this carries on and on and on, that we're all wearing these kind of chips?
I mean,
and we know who, like, instead, like, we don't have to write down who we're in contact with, but we're actually wearing a device that says what we're in contact with.
Speaking of writing down, I'm going to need you to write down who manufactures that thing because I'm about to buy some stock options because it's, because I mean, if we go next couple of years and COVID-19 is still a thing, I could definitely see that, especially in a workplace environment.
Not going to lie, we give a lot of different advice and TED Talks on this show.
Yeah.
But there's already an interesting thing that's going on with cell phones. If you've got your Bluetooth enabled, that a lot of cell phone companies have enabled a natural reporting system so that it will keep track of particular locations via your GPS and indicate if you have been in particular hotspots so that you can be warned whether or not you need to be aware of your surroundings and maybe go talk to a doctor afterwards just to check for a risk of exposure.
Well, being here in Florida, man, I mean, I turn my Bluetooth off. I get it. It's going to be going off the whole time. I'm going to take a step outside. Beep, beep, beep. Well, yeah, I get it. We're in a hot spot right now. We're going to be okay. Yeah, I'm good.
What's lighting up red all around you right now? I checked from a financial situation here. I checked this. The NBA came out with that thing. Remember they had that?
We talked about that.
Right?
The ring. Yeah,
it was a ring.
Yeah.
Well, I checked right away.
Yeah.
They weren't public.
Cowards.
Yeah.
Just straight cowards.
So you couldn't buy their stock.
Yeah. Cowards. All right.
So we'll see. Maybe check on that, though, folks, because that could be a big thing.
If I don't have fantasy football to go off of, I need something to put some money down on. I'm a degenerate after all. Might as well go to the stock market.
So anyway, that's the update. It's pretty involved. Listen, I continue to tip my cap to both sides there, but also anybody in charge of anything, whether it's our company, your place of work, sports teams. This is a tough situation. It's a tough read, I think, as just a citizen of what we like to believe what you're reading or what data should we see or know, or, there's a lot of different things that go into it. I think this is challenging, and so I give them credit. I don't know if this stuff's going to work. I give them credit for at least trying to come up with it. It sure sounds like it's going to be costly to do a lot of this stuff. Yeah. It's additional cost with not as much coming in, by the way, in 2020. So, again, from a business structure, I'm not asking, don't feel bad for these guys. I think they've got plenty of money. But from the business structure, it's going to change the dynamic of the NFL in 2020 and so many other businesses, of course, who are taking these kind of precautions.
At the end of the day, let's be honest, the NFL can afford it. And, and if times get tough, go to Patrick Mahomes. He can probably write you a loan for a little bit. So it's all good.
He probably can.
Yeah.
Sam Fortier, I think is how you say it, covers the Washington Redskins. DJ Swearinger posted on his Instagram an exchange between him and former head coach Jay Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of it? And I guess I want to say who Fortier is from. Oh, he's from the Washington Post as well, and covers the Redskins. And he tweeted the post by Swearinger, who once played for the Redskins.
Correct.
And it has an exchange, and it's I can't repeat it, but it's an exchange back and forth. I think this must have been during a time where Swearinger was probably going through whether he wanted to play or not, or maybe some contract stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty interesting read. You'll have to go back again because I can't really say it in its full context.
Sure. Listen, here, I'm just going to give my 2 cents about it, okay? There's 2 screen caps here. The first screen cap or screenshot is of Swearinger's interaction with Jay Gruden. And in that interaction, it appears that Jay Gruden used some expletive language. Well, guess what? He's a football coach. Welcome to the NFL. But at least I get the vibe that he's trying to establish dominance or like trying to fight. I mean, because there's one point in this conversation where he goes, "You want to meet? We can meet tonight or tomorrow." If someone tells me that, and listen, let's go ahead and put ourselves in the situation real quick. It's not a high school player we're talking about, okay? This isn't a college player we're talking about. We're talking about a bunch of grown men in the National Football League, okay? And it's just, in my opinion, the way Jay Gruden kind of talked to Swearinger, kind of challenged him, if you will. I'll be honest with you, it rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I think it would rub a lot of players the wrong way. So then as we go on to the next screenshot, the second one, so then he goes into, Swearinger goes into kind of what led to this dialogue. And supposedly what had happened was, I guess the Giants blew out the Redskins. Swearinger had some comments after the game. I guess somebody told Gruden that Swearinger said something about him and his coaching style, even though that never really took place. So there's a miscommunication there. We always talk about miscommunications in NFL locker rooms. Well, this is a big one. And obviously Swearinger at the end goes, since right now Washington is being exposed. I want to give the exact quote here so I don't mess this up. 1 second, please. All right, so I was going to give this man a pass, talking about Jay Gruden, obviously. But after what's going on with the organization with women, they all need to be exposed. I have a daughter to raise. And then he posted that picture of the cell phone conversation.
What's interesting to me there is that final line. I understand the allegations are with the sexual harassment against Washington Redskins. Not Jay Gruden, by the way, not involved in that, according to the Washington Post article. But what's interesting is that conversation on the Twitter had nothing to do, or on the texting, had nothing to do with women. And so it was interesting that he turned it to the allegations and to his daughter.
And bringing his daughter into
based on the conversation that he shared on the text. That kind of confused me a little bit on Swearinger. That didn't add up. I say, hey, we had some rough conversations. I didn't like the way I was treated, all those kind of things. That would be one thing. It wasn't very professional. But then to shift it into, I was going to give the man a pass, but after what's going on with that organization with women, they all need to be exposed. It doesn't add up to what the texting was.
And this is my issue, right? Because according to that text message, what we saw Swearinger post, it's all about a miscommunication regarding a press conference. Now, whatever Gruden said, he said, and was it right? Maybe not. That's not the point, though. The fact of the matter is, listen, these are two different things right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not to say this isn't a big deal. Obviously, it's a big deal to Swearinger. But listen, man, okay? You don't need to bring your daughter into this right now. Just, if it was me, I would have texted Gruden like a man. I wouldn't even put this on social media. And I understand right now it's kind of the way of the modern era NFL athlete, or kind of the modern way of society, where we post the receipts. We go back in time and we expose people. But to me, man, it's not even in the same ballpark. So if you got a problem with Gruden, I feel like this could have been handled behind the scenes, but now you want to bring this to light. It's confusing to me.
Well, to be honest with you, I think of what we heard, what might maybe come out based on rumors on social media 2 days ago involving potentially Gruden, to now where we are with Swearinger in terms of that text it's like, okay, that's really like nothing compared to what
without a doubt
everybody said was going to. Now, again, you can not like it. You don't feel like you were respected. Well, all that stuff. And Swearinger brought it to light. Again, I think exactly what you said. This is two different issues here, and he kind of morphed the two together, which I think is a little dangerous and probably not the proper thing to do in this situation, given the allegations and the severity of those allegations. I mean, those are two different things, like how you handle things as a football coach versus what the Washington Post article said about the Washington Redskins organization.
Well, and listen, Brent, you know how I operate, man. I always take the player's side like 9 times out of 10. But on this situation, I can't come along with Swearinger here, because guess what? And I get it. If it's there for us to see, he probably shouldn't text you with that kind of tone, so be it. But show me a football player who hasn't been disrespected at least once by a coach.
I know it.
Unless your name's J.J. Watt, you've probably been disrespected by a coach at least one time.
My first reaction to you, actually, when we brought this up was as we were going in a break, I was like, don't football coaches say that stuff sometimes?
Yeah. Well,
and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, don't they say that stuff sometimes?
No, they do say that kind of stuff.
Not just football coaches, coaches.
For sure. And listen, and I've been disrespected many times. I can name any names, obviously. I don't have any receipts to show, okay? They're going to stay in my pocket, and when those tax returns come, maybe I'll expose them, but until that time, I'm just chilling here. I get the language from Gruden here. He kind of had an aggressive tone. Like, once again, he maybe wanted to fight somebody. I never had a coach wanting to fight me, okay? So, and obviously they probably see me fight on the field a bunch of times, and probably not the best guy to fight with.
Not Josie.
Not even Josie, man. Now, Josie, listen, Josie's had his moments, and unfortunately I can't tell those moments on here because there's no way I could tell a 5-minute story about all the expletives that got thrown around. So that's a story for a different kind of podcast and a different type of day. But regardless, though, in terms of Gruden, he probably shouldn't have said what he said with that kind of demeanor. But, man, once again, I can't drive this point home enough. Yes, I understand you felt disrespect, and that's great. Then handle it like a man, okay? To put it in the same category as I think it was 15 or 16 cheerleaders coming forward alleging sexual harassment, man, that's a huge deal, okay? That can bring down an entire organization. A coach calling out a player, maybe wanting to fight, sorry, man, that's not going to do anything for you. So I don't know why he did that. I'm not sure what the end goal is here, but I don't see much coming from it.
No, I don't either. Let me ask you one thing about Gruden in the Jay Gruden stuff, because it's been kind of surfacing over the last couple of days. When this is going on with Washington and the dirt is flying, man, the mud is being thrown around and people are digging. Do you think the Jags are concerned right now? Again, you got to go off fact. I'm not here to talk and spread rumor and all that, but it's been brought up time and time again, whether it's the rumors that are flying around, whether it was the Washington Post article coming out because they knew he was the head coach in Washington and obviously is associated with that organization for quite some time, whether it's even this with DJ Swearinger. Are the Jags concerned? Do you think they should be concerned? As we sit here a week and a half from camp and their offensive coordinator's name is making some headlines, and we still don't even know if it's fact or fiction on some of these things, but it does make you wonder, okay, what's coming tomorrow? What's coming next week? Is there anything else?
Listen, if you're in that front office right now, how could you not be concerned? Okay? I talk about it all the time, Brent. Usually when there's smoke, there can be some fire, okay? And obviously, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying from the Jacksonville's front office spot, I'm sure that they're making their calls right now. They're asking around, and they're obviously probably talking to Gruden, too, just to kind of get their bases covered, because the last thing you want to have happen is all of a sudden some more stuff come out about your newly appointed offensive coordinator, and you're sitting here, wondering, well, what do we do now? Like, you have to be ahead of this thing just in case. So it's kind of like that worst case, it's like the worst case scenario game prep here, but you have to cover all your bases.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do. I mean, you start digging around, you get in front of anything if there is anything. I feel like Gruden and the Jags got by that initial bombshell, and that's what everybody was anticipating. Are you going to see some things about like this? Well, I think that's the nature of the beast. Sometimes, listen, are you telling me that every coach in the NFL has acted just to a T? Some will be exposed, some will not. Heck, we've seen Dabo Swinney and his coaching staff under fire in the last few months for things. We've seen Iowa as well, and those are different circumstances, but you get my point. I think even Doug Marrone coming out of the Buffalo days. There were stories about that, stories written, stories said, how much was true, how much wasn't. I think that's part of it. And kind of what you said, it's a little bit a part of today's society where it's like, hey, we're throwing this out there. This makes me feel better. Like, really, what's Swearinger's motivation here? I don't get it. Again, I don't get the tie-in.
Just be a man. If you really got obviously this has been stemming for a while because he's held on to these text messages. If you truly got a problem with him, go to him face to face and see what's up then. Simple as that. Yeah. I don't
love the tactic there. Yeah. And if that's the most they've got on Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
Well, the Jags can breathe a sigh of relief.
Needless to say, I can't wait till you make me mad one day and I put away your text messages you've been sending me about your threats. Look what Brent Martin has threatened me with.
Hey, by the way, sincerely, There's a reason I don't have a station-issued phone. I get my own.
Yeah, for sure. Off the grid.
Never know what you're going to say.
You're off the grid, man. I appreciate it.
One other thing about that, this is probably silly to even say, but the Jags are actually, let's just, worst case scenario, something happened, and Jags didn't like it. Now, again, this is not a great scenario regardless. You're weeks away, days away from starting camp and all this other stuff, and the work that's already tried to be put in place.
There is a plan B, though.
They do have Ben McAdoo, who's done it before.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're actually set up in a halfway decent way in that sense. Not ideal. Nothing seems to be ideal these days. And I'm also not sitting here and trying to assume that something will go bad like that. I'm just saying worst case scenario, if something were to come up, which I don't anticipate and haven't heard, then they do have a guy that's done it and been a head coach and all those things, an offensive-minded guy as their QB coach right now in Ben McAdoo.
Well, absolutely. And that's kind of immediately where my head went when I started to see these rumors a little bit about Gruden. I'm like, what's going to happen now? But I'm like, all right, well, they do have plan B in Ben McAdoo, and that's going to be okay. Now, keep in mind, maybe some of the terminology is going to change a little bit. I mean, there is going to be an adjustment. Once again, we're speaking in theoretical. This is
talk about hypothetical
exactly,
to the nth degree.
Yeah, exactly. But just to kind of go through it real quick, I mean, obviously the terminology could be different, but Ben McAdoo's been there before, and you like his chances better than a lot of quarterback coaches out there right now to lead an offense. Let's just say it like that.
A Tiger Woods update and a thought on Major League Baseball. We take a break. One more segment to go here on a Friday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Friday.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few brief showers this evening, otherwise partly cloudy tonight, dropping into the low 70s. Partly sunny, hot and humid for Saturday, with a brief shower or thunderstorm closer to the coast in the morning, more inland in the afternoon, with a high around 90. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale this weekend.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Carathon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
You don't want just any old sale. You want the biggest sale with the biggest savings ever, right? Then you need to see my friends at Arlington Toyota today, because they're having the one big-time sales event. Want low payments and zero down? Then get to Arlington now, because during the big-time sale, they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars you can buy at zero down and $199 a month. That's no money down and $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. How about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can buy at zero down and just $269 a month? That's no money down and $269 a month with over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everybody approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. What are you waiting for? It's the one big-time sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big-time sale for full details. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
We have big rolls of carpet, hardwood too, laminates, hot area rugs for you. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Our prices are low, 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 low.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Don't delay, we'll put it in next day.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Y'all gonna see us now, you hear? At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Visit one of our mega flooring stores or go to carpetman.biz or
call 838-6705. The Carpet Man.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN690 and ESPN690.com.
All right, I got a question for you.
I got an answer, hopefully.
As a competitor, you lose to a team.
Okay.
Say you're in the playoffs and you lose in the first round to Baltimore.
Oh, he's already mad.
Yeah, I'm irate right now.
Do you want Baltimore to win the whole thing? Ooh. Or do you want them to lose?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, let's look at it from my perspective, right? Let's look at it from my MMA career, right? I fought Greg Hardy, chance to go to the UFC. Greg Hardy beats me, takes my spot as in the UFC now. So, do I want to see Greg Hardy do well, or do I want to see Greg Hardy struggle? To be 100% honest here, Brent, I think it applies the same way in football. It's a 50-50 thing. Because, I mean, either way, you're ticked off because you lost, right? So you're not going to win, obviously. But a part of you wants to say, you know what? Let him go to the championship. Let him go to the highest point of the sport because then that justifies it. And the other part wants to say, well, you know what? It's kind of like that crab pot mentality where obviously if crabs work together, they can get out of a crab pot, but they don't. They pull each other back down in the pot, so nobody escapes. You kind of get that crab pot mentality a little bit as well, where it's like, well, if I'm going to be miserable, I want to see you be miserable too as well, right? So I think at the end of the day, in my personal experiences, in my opinion, I want to see him do great. I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to wish ill will on anybody. But if we're talking about football, then yeah, screw it. As long as if you lose, welcome to the doldrums with me, and we can both be miserable together.
Yeah, I think my mind goes to that first. Yeah. Like, I want him to lose.
Yeah.
But then after, like, some of that emotion settles down, you're kind of like, well, we lost to the best team. If they won it all or something, right? Like, and that's what I was saying the other day. I think sometimes people give, like, the Patriots too much credit because, like, almost too much respect. Not credit, too much respect. To be like, well, okay, we lost to the Patriots. At least we lost to the Patriots. Screw that, man. Beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like that attitude. I like that mentality. So that's where my mind goes first is like, nah, I don't want you guys to do well because I feel like if you win it all, if we had just made a play or two and won, we could have won it all.
Well, let's think about it too. if you're a playoff team, literally the worst thing, and I was never a playoff contender, so I wouldn't know this, but I remember my days from Little League, and I've always been a competitor. One of the worst things to do if you make the playoffs and you try to make a run at a championship is when you lose, watching that team celebrate. Oh. Right? I mean, we're always reminded of like the World Series, right? Even like last year, the Nationals winning everything, and it was the Astros that were in the dugout just, staring, because that's all you can do. Right, and it's one of the worst feelings in the world is seeing your opponent, the person that you're supposed to defeat, celebrating, just on high right now, and you're just sitting there miserable. Well, imagine then if you watch them go to the Super Bowl or something like that, and you see them on TV doing snow angels and the confetti, it would make you probably feel even more miserable. So I agree with you, but I think you want to see the team struggle just like you did.
Yeah, it's and I don't know. I don't know the answer. I think it depends when you ask. If you ask right after or a couple hours after, I think then you look back on it.
Yeah.
You know how I got
on
this?
Call me a hater, but I'll be a hater all day.
I got to think about the situation on it, though, because you bring up your example with Greg Hardy and getting into the UFC. That doesn't necessarily mean that Greg Hardy gets into opportunities for championships, but it does mean he got an opportunity to contract, and there's cause to drink some haterade there.
Yep.
If, for example, though, you're talking about the playoff situation, you lose to a team, and that team's got, we'll call it 2 more games, or say it's the AFC or NFC championship, you've got 1 more game, and you're going to be the Super Bowl champion. It's a different scenario in that case because the goal is right there. It's so immediate.
It's a good point.
And in that case, after I get over the initial frustration, I want to see that team go all the way just because then I got beat by the champ.
Yeah.
And that's a slightly different perspective.
Yeah.
To get beat by an also-ran, that doesn't do me any satisfaction. It doesn't boost my stock. But if I could go toe-to-toe with the champ, and I lose to the champ.
That's a good point.
Well, I lost to the champ. It's the Ric Flair syndrome.
Yeah,
I like it. That's a good point.
I think a lot of people agree with you too. I think I think it is who it is. Depends. See, I think the Greg Hardy is interesting because, can you really root for Greg Hardy? Right? It's hard to root for Greg Hardy. I mean, he's not the guy that you really want to root for.
No, take that out of it. I'm just saying from my perspective, though. If he does well, if he gets a title shot where it's like, well, look at what I mean.
He lost to a guy who's doing that. I get it. And you know how all this came up? You know how it came up?
I don't.
Because the team we lost to yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
We lose 4-3.
Yeah.
On a couple errors in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
Did they win today?
You know what they did? They went on and won yesterday afternoon 14-2.
Mm-hmm.
They went on to win last night 8-2. Mm-hmm. They went on to win the semis today 10-0, and they went on to win the championship 10-0.
They won the championship.
They won it all. So could we have won it all is the question. You never know.
Considering you hung like that with the guys that went all the way to the championship, hell yeah, be proud.
Sure.
And it's a very, by the way, a very good team. They're a very good team,
Yeah.
So
do you want to say, smoke my team 6-2, 8-2, 10-2? No, sir.
I do think it does kind of, it's like, that's where the respect does come in with the Patriots.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in hindsight, all these years later, if you end your career and you're like, let's just say anybody that played for that Jacksonville Jaguars team in 2017, and you're like, gosh, we got so close. We played so well. You know what? We thought we're better than them, man. Mm-hmm. We're better than them. We were up on them. We were dominating the game, but it was probably closer on the scoreboard than it actually was on the field. And you're so mad and bitter, and it's the Patriots, and I hate them and all that stuff. But now, when you look back on your career, you're like, we got beat by Tom Brady, 3rd and 18. We got beat by Tom Brady and Amendola or Edelman or whatever the one is, whoever caught the ball. Yeah, Hogan, I think it was. So
insert white wide receiver, whoever it is. Not to be racial, but let's be honest, that's what the Patriots bring to the table.
At here. One of them.
Yeah.
But
Miles Jack wasn't down.
So I do think in that sense, then maybe you are like, well, man, we got beat by the GOAT.
But let's be honest, though. I think some of that, and I remember watching that game live, and I remember thinking like, I was upset, obviously, but you know what I thought in the back of my mind? Wait till next year. We're just getting started now. Like, Jacksonville football's back. Well, we saw how that turned out the following season then as well.
That, by the way, is not the way I felt.
No?
No.
Really?
I thought there's no way the Jags are getting back here for a long time.
Really?
I just told somebody this morning. I said, in that moment, my initial disappointment, like, if you go back and watch that post-game show, it was like we were miserable on TV in that post-game show. And I'm telling you, all of it was based, in my mind, was they're not getting back here for a long time. Like, that's how close they just were. They were 10 minutes. We were booking flights. Yeah. They were making arrangements. Mm-hmm. and that's how close you are, and you just don't do that. Like, you don't do that. I didn't feel like the Jags were going to go the way they were in 18 and 19.
Sure.
You just know you don't get those opportunities so much. That's the way I felt. I did not feel like, well, this is a stepping stone. I just didn't. I didn't feel that way. And I don't know if it's because of the history of the Jags or whatever. But keep in mind, the folks that follow the Jacksonville Jaguars really closely, longtime fans, in 1999, 14-2, and obviously both losses to the Titans and then losing the AFC Championship to the Titans. And with that kind of team, probably thought, hey, after the run we've had, 96 to 99, man, we're going to be doing this a lot. Like, that would have been okay to say we're going to be doing that a lot. Well, it took 18 years to get back to that stage. And in between, there was a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Not a lot to be excited about. My mind immediately when they lost that football game in 2017 to the Patriots was, it might take another 10 to 15 years to get here.
See, I mean, obviously, you might have been right. We'll see.
The bouncer found you and said, no, son, you're in the cheap seats. You got to go.
Yeah, man.
By the way, that mentality might be from being a Red Sox fan all my life.
See, I just sat there, Brent, and I thought, okay, well, let's look at the situation real quick. Obviously, they lost a heartbreaker to New England, but they have a very young running back coming back in Fournette who seems to be the guy going forward. Yeah, you can get a wide receiver here or there, but their defense is legit. You have young guys in like Miles Jack and Jalen Ramsey and Yannick Ngakoue. I just thought they were so young, and they had the right mixture combination of veteran leadership, but obviously the young guys too. I'm like, dude, they're going to be fine for years to come. And then I remember, I think it was the second or third game of the season of the following year when they played New England at home and they curb stomped them. I'm like, oh, yeah, see, exactly. Get your Super Bowl tickets right now because this team is the real deal. And then it just goes south so fast.
Yeah.
And it goes to show you that window, unless your name is the New England Patriots, is so short.
Absolutely. And I actually think even if it didn't go as south as it did, say the Jags still had a good year, right? And they win the division, maybe they're 10-6. I just think you have to have so much go right, even in January, to get there. Look at the Ravens. I mean, last year. And by the way, I'll say that even now. If you want to put money on it right this moment, whether Kansas City goes and repeats or they don't, I'll take the don't.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, man.
It's so hard,
And look how good they are.
Yep.
Right?
Correct.
And they've got everything back. And they've really been there 2 years in a row, quite frankly, right on the doorstep. And then they did it. I mean, it might sound crazy, but every single time I'll take the field. And
you're not wrong.
It's part
History
of the reason
shows that you're not wrong besides the New England Patriots.
Besides the Patriots and what they've been able to do. Now, not just Patriots, though. The Cowboys did it for a bit.
True.
The Bills got back there for quite a bit. The
49ers back there.
The Niners
we don't like to talk about the Buffalo Bills getting back there, though. We don't go there.
But they did it. They did. I would have bet against them back then, too, but they did.
True.
So it just that's why this year I still think I have the bet. If you give me the Ravens and the Chiefs, I'm still taking the other team. And that's why I picked the Colts. Because I'm saying I think another team will be in the Super Bowl, not one of those two teams.
Okay, so see, we're on two different pages, though. So you're talking about going to the Super Bowl. I'm saying winning a Super Bowl.
And
winning.
Which is, you got to go
obviously
first.
The Bills never did that. True. Yeah, I mean, you sure do like the Colts, don't you? Yeah, I get where you're coming from, man.
I love the Colts. I just don't love I feel like it's false hope in a way to fall in love so much with one team like the Chiefs or one team like the Ravens.
Well, it was like the Patriots last year. People had the Patriots going again to the Super Bowl. I mean, they were number one in the power rankings and everything. And to be fair, they had a pretty good run. Yeah. Offense struggled. Defense was legit. But, like, look at last year, though, too, Brent. In the power rankings, I remember, you know where the Baltimore Ravens were? They were in, like, the mid-20s. No one expected the Ravens to do anything. I think it could be the Colts effect this year like you're getting at, where, I mean, to be fair, I think, in my opinion, I think the Titans will win the division, much to the chagrin of Jaguars fans out there. And I think the Colts are getting some kind of respect. But I think the word on the street is, listen, Phillip Rivers is old. He's lost it. I mean, can that offensive line really bring the best out of him? We'll see. And who knows? Maybe Phillip Rivers finds the fountain of youth, if you will, and he's a great leader, and he leads the Colts to a big run. You never know.
And maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's Big Ben who comes back as a monster year. Well, maybe it's Cleveland who finally puts it together.
Maybe it's Cleveland because my bet's on the line between Baker Mayfield and Ben Roethlisberger. So come on now.
Or maybe it is the Bills.
Yeah.
That take a step, that even a larger step than some believe in getting into that. But
there's always a team out there that no one's talking about.
Or maybe McCaffrey just puts it all on his shoulders and runs it in.
How much more can that guy put on his shoulders? I mean, I understand they're broad, man, but are they that broad?
Hey, Tiger Woods, by the way, 3 over today. 3 over for the tournament now, 4 over today. Really struggled during the middle part of his round. And this Tiger Tracker's the best. I mean, you don't have to like Tiger. Tiger Tracker on Twitter is unbelievable.
Sure.
He's the greatest. In fact, there are some times that I think I'd rather not watch Tigers round and just
go
watch Tiger Tracker.
Why not, man? If you got it, use it.
That's unhealthy, but it's sometimes how I feel.
The box scores are less painful than the video sometimes.
He says this. Here's a snapshot of how my afternoon is going. 2 p.m. out, Tiger missing the cut. 2:35 p.m. in, Tiger making the cut. 3 p.m. out. 3:09 in. 3:19 out. Day drinking, anyone? He is awesome. Tiger Woods, by the way, 3 over. And
so
right now,
is he out?
In.
Oh, he's in.
Right now, in. That was like 2 hours ago. He tweeted that. So we'll see if Tiger makes it. Projected cut is 4 over. So I think he will make the weekend. The leaders are at 9 under par. That's Ryan Palmer and Tony Finau. John Rahm, 1 shot back, and then Gary Woodland and company down at 6 under. Jim Furyk playing pretty well, 4 under par for Jim. Jordan Spieth in the top 10, 4 under for him as well. Some of the big names on this board that could make a run this weekend. Jason Day's in there. Rory McIlroy's in there. So we'll see Justin Thomas even 1 under par. He'll have to make quite a run on the weekend. So we'll see what happens. One baseball topic before we get out of here, and maybe it's something we'll continue even early next week as baseball season is on the verge. But you brought up an article of Preston Wilson.
Yeah.
Right, with Sports. He said something in Sports Illustrated.
It was an article that came out this afternoon.
And it's the title of the article is Why Baseball is Losing Black America. Mm-hmm. What was your take on it?
Man, so obviously the way he feels right now, but I think he's been pretty outspoken about this. He kind of shares my same opinion with baseball. It's just it's losing that oomph, it's losing America's pastime. And in my opinion, it's probably the 3rd most popular sport next to basketball and football. And it just seems like it's on this decline, even though they have some of the best players to ever play the game. And where this article goes a little bit is obviously the importance of the inner city kids, the importance of like the black youth out there that can try to revitalize the game, and kind of make it cool, if you will. And, it's a long article, but the biggest thing I took away from it is the accessibility, right? Where we talk about basketball, all you need is what? All you need is a couple hoops, you need a basketball, you can play anywhere you want, and that's why I think basketball is so big in inner cities, because kids grow up playing it, kids grow up watching it, so it's always going to be there. And one could say with football, too, it's a little more challenging. You need the pads and the equipment, but football is still that cool sport and everything like that. With baseball, and then the way, the price tag and the way it's being so just, individualized, or I guess, do you call it specialization? I guess.
Specialization,
yeah. Specialization, where like you have to play baseball year round to actually go someplace with it, and obviously it's an expensive thing to do. You see a lot of inner city youth, especially the black youth, that aren't for that, and the parents unfortunately can't afford that stuff, so they push them towards basketball or football or something like that. So it goes into a little bit of that, but it really explains the importance of, if baseball wants to be more popular in the future, they have to cater to the black youth out there.
I've had a lot of thoughts on this. We've had these topics over the years, this conversation over the years, and I think it has changed somewhat, but there's probably a lot of similarities. There is a dollar expense to this. Listen, we do travel baseball, we do travel softball. People do AAU, people do 7-on-7s. There's other things. It's not the most expensive thing you can do. Heck, dance and cheerleading and other things, right?
For sure.
But baseball does get kind of this identity of travel baseball. It's bad. It's expensive, and it eliminates a certain demographic or socioeconomic group. And I think to some degree, listen, it's expensive. It can be expensive. It doesn't have to be always expensive, but it can be expensive. We were just in Hoover for like 8 days. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for Marriott points, and it wasn't so bad.
For sure.
But you get listen, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. I mean, it can be very expensive. I'll say this, though. I saw something, and I noted this. It's interesting you brought up this article today, because I felt like I saw more black baseball players this weekend, or this past week, at a 100-team tournament in Hoover, Alabama. But that's not – we've been to other tournaments like that size. Mm-hmm. I feel like I saw more black players than I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just noticed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's a good thing. But the dollars are real. Like this article says, baseball's an expensive sport. Many play year-round, spending as much as $4,000 to play in the winter. They return to their high school teams more polished, more likely to get playing time than the kids who can't afford the extra coaching. And according to Brookings Institution, this is out of this article, the average net worth of a white family in 2016 was $171,000. Well, it seems like a lot. The average net worth of a black family was $17,150. That alone puts young black players at a disadvantage. So I do think there is an economic part of this.
Sure.
And I think those are numbers. It's not everybody, but these are averages and numbers that people are coming up with. And I think that is true what you just said about basketball. Just go down to the playground and play in 2 hoops or put a hoop in your driveway, whatever it might be. So there is a difference there. I think there's one thing, though. I think we go to the economy of it all the time too soon. I think there's also a cool nature of football and basketball that whether it's African-American dads, families, or just kids feel that, hey, I gravitate toward this. I gravitate toward basketball. I gravitate toward football. Yeah. Where's the cool factor of baseball? Not nearly as cool as those other two, right?
Well, and keep in mind, too, like you
and by the way, not just black kids gravitate toward football and basketball, but in that sense, white kids do too.
Well, and listen, you talk about the best baseball player right now going, it's Mike Trout, right? But let's be honest, how cool is Mike Trout? Mike Trout is a fantastic baseball player. If you follow the game of baseball, he's cool, man. You're impressed. Like, this dude's out of this world.
But versus Lamar Jackson and LeBron James?
Exactly. I mean, good luck with that, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was a great point in terms of, I think it's more than just how much a family makes, obviously. It's about the kid wanting to feel cool, and I agree with you there. A really crazy stat to me is, because I figured like once Ken Griffey Jr. was a thing, right? Once Barry Bonds was a thing, like that would drive up, the black youth. Unfortunately, it didn't. So according to Society of American Baseball Research, MLB actually peaked at 18.7% of African Americans in 1981. Last season, according to USA Today, that figure was 7.7.
Wow.
Crazy.
Here's the one other thing I want to bring up.
Yeah.
And this is why I go away from the economics sometimes on this topic. And I just bring this up. Mm-hmm. The minority presence in Major League Baseball and in baseball is massive.
It is.
You do not see the Latino population, Hispanic population playing basketball.
It's true.
And maybe even football, playing baseball. Mm-hmm. So I've always had, it's two separate stories here. If you look at the minority involvement in baseball, it's actually quite large.
Correct.
If you look at the black population involvement in baseball, it's not. But does that mean the white participation has gone down because the Latino population has also gone up?
Yeah.
And has that pushed the black percentages down as well, is what I wonder.
Well, and it also begs the question, does Major League Baseball need the black percentage of players out there to help elevate the game to a new level?
I think it certainly could use it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're trending back in that way. And they've tried with certain programs to do so. But in a sport that celebrates Jackie Robinson the way they do and the way they should,
absolutely,
you would think more black athletes would participate.
How could you
and
not?
You have some great role models, black athletes in Major League Baseball to do so as well. We'll leave you on that note today. Check out Action Sports Jax primetime Saturday and Sunday night, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. I'll see you on TV tonight on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Thanks for Scott jumping in today. We'll see you all next week as well.
I'm here next week, kids.
For
Try the
Austin
deal.
Lane, I'm Brent Martineau. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us on ESPN690.
You can make a difference in the life of a child fighting cancer. The 2020 Carathon presented by Duval Asphalt ends today. $10 can buy snacks, toys, or diversionary supplies. $50 can pay for gas for a family to bring a child to treatment. $100 can buy groceries for a family with a child battling cancer. To donate, go to ESPN690.com. There you'll find our Carathon auction, a donate button, or you can text the word forever to 41444. And special thank you to Duval Asphalt for your generous support of the Child Cancer Fund.
Are you about to propose? Are you getting married soon? Are you celebrating an anniversary?
You won't want to miss Beard's Diamond Summer Super Sale. This weekend only.
Unprecedented savings like never before.
All wedding bands, anniversary bands, designer engagement rings, and more.
20% off.
Prices are at their lowest. Selection is at its highest.
Beard's has more engagement rings and wedding bands in stock than any other jewelry store.
And our prices won't be beat.
All wedding bands, all eternity bands, engagement rings, all fashion jewelry, all stackables are an incredible 20% off.
And an unbelievable 20% off